1 minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
High formation. Jones takes and gives. Christian cuts it up inside. Backpedaling his way. Pushing. They got him in. Braun up front for the Niners tonight. A touchdown. Maybe to put it away.
Thank you to the Niners Radio Network. Hello. Pushing, or were they pulling him into the end zone? Very controversial last night, but the Niners win, Pearl, 20-10. It was a bunch of backups for the Niners and Christian McCaffrey, who led the way. This was a season high for him as far as running the ball. And also he led the team in receptions. It was the McCaffrey show without a doubt. And the defense, who was missing everybody and their mom, also stepped up big. And so now the 49ers, I guess, have life. I was not that impressed with this win. Although on the broadcast, they kept saying, well, this is the 49ers. They're back. I'm like, I don't know if I saw that necessarily.
I know, but don't look now. They're 5-2.
Well, their schedule is
pretty
I know.
Easy.
What happened to the Falcons from last week? It was like, where did all the weapons go, you know?
You know how the Steelers will always end up at 10-7?
Yeah.
The Falcons will always end up within a game of 500. They have had the same record for 6 years in a row. They're uncannily consistent. So I do feel like the Falcons have one great week, one down week. And coming off that huge win over Buffalo, you knew a letdown was coming. That was an emotional letdown. And then Christian McCaffrey said, hey, Bijan Robinson, I am the best all-purpose running back, not you. That was personal because Bijan was getting all the hype.
114 yards on 23 carries for McCaffrey, a pair of touchdowns. Also, the team high 7 receptions for 72 yards. I mean, he was everything for them. And until they get some healthy bodies back, and they had Kittle back last night, and it was like not really an impact on the passing game at all. I didn't see this as this big, was it like a gritty win? I guess so for the 49ers. Sure. But if I'm looking around, are they in the same category as the Rams? Are they even really the same caliber as the Seahawks when all is said and done? Listen, the 49ers were my Super Bowl pick for this year, so I am not a hater. I was a believer in a bounce-back season for the 49ers. The record is gaudy. I just don't see a great team. I'm sorry, I do not.
Well, I mean,
it's an injured team.
But why do you not see a great team? Because Fred Warner is on TV and with his leg up, and Nick Bosa's not there. Yeah, I agree. I just don't think without those two players that they can get where they want to go. I got to tell you, the money they spent on Robert Saleh to get him back as defense coordinator is paying off because these young defense players are playing great. But it's really hard to imagine, and it's not even Fred Warner. It's without Nick Bosa. He's always been the special sauce that makes him a Super Bowl winning team. I think they can accumulate wins, but to win at that next level and get Kyle Shanahan to the point where he can blow a lead in the Super Bowl, I don't know if they can do that again. That's unfair. By the way. I'm sorry,
I mean, you're just going with the facts. 888-710-4ISN. What did Big Friendly call him? Kyle, I can't hold a lead on hand. Manny, I beat you to it. 888-710-4476. Because I'm curious, we have a lot of 49er fans and we have a lot of Falcons fans in our audience. Obviously, we're coast to coast here and in Canada on the Infinity Sports Network. And, first of all, if I'm Atlanta, I'm incensed because you were not really playing great in this game. Their offense kind of disappeared outside of Bijan. Michael Penix was very inconsistent last night, in my opinion, but you were right there in this game. It's a one-score game on the road. where if you had won this game back-to-back Buffalo and San Francisco, even if I'm not that impressed with San Francisco, it would have gone down as like a signature win. Like, okay, we can be consistent. And I don't know how they're not screaming from the hilltops. I'd be at the commissioner's office tomorrow because the offensive lineman for San Francisco very obviously pulled Christian McCaffrey into the end zone for that last touchdown. It's like nobody.
Very obviously. That is what we call a pile, a scrum, it was a reverse tush push. You're telling the officials.
The push is the tush. This was the pull.
How on earth was any official going to see that? There was all 22 players were within 3 yards of each other. It was a giant blob. There's no way you could see that in real time. Yeah, in slow mo you could see it. In real time, it looked like it was getting pushed. How on earth would an official kind of pick that particular play out?
Every scoring play reviewed.
You can't review that.
Well, they reviewed Jared Goff last week was a scoring play, and then they went back, did not throw a flag, and then said that he was illegal motion and wiped it off.
Well, that was actually not scoring play review. That was different. That was replay assist.
Replay, whatever. I mean,
it's a massive difference here.
Yeah, sure. Okay. That's like gaslighting me and all the Falcons fans out there because you got 100 different camera angles.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's replay assist. Sometimes New York gets involved. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes this, sometimes that. It's so inconsistent. The league is failing teams right now.
Let's say, for example, that they don't give the Niners a touchdown there and they go up 16-10. On the subsequent drive, Michael Penix didn't come within 34 yards of completing a pass. I know he was hurt, but it did feel like Atlanta was at any massive comeback drive there at the end coming.
But you don't know.
I don't know anything. I mean, lightning could have struck and they could have called the game off. But I'm just saying, it did not. To me, there's no way that game came down to the poll.
But it made it a 2-possession game instead of a 1-possession game. It's totally different. And also, you think you can predict what happens in the NFL? I present to you Broncos Giants yesterday. We don't know what happens.
Did you get the sense?
Jenna, I couldn't keep a lead hand.
Did you get any sense that the Falcons were moving the ball? Honestly, it was a scrum. I mean, it felt like there was some tush push energy around that play. And I was thinking about if they ban the tush push, they're going to ban that play.
Good.
James Cook, the Buffalo Bills running back, has been pushed in the end zone 50 times. You're saying that should be a flag every time?
I don't like that. If it felt like you pull the guy into the end zone.
Yeah.
I went into the rule book like I even needed to. Article 4, assisting the runner. No offensive player may pull a runner in any direction at any time.
Do you know why you went into the rule book?
It should not have been a touchdown. In fact, it should have been a 10-yard penalty and back the 49ers up.
Hey, so they would have hit a field goal and won 16-10. But by the way, you know why you had to look that up? Because the announcers barely mentioned it. Because nobody cares. Because Atlanta was not winning that game.
I would be incensed if I was Atlanta today.
I mean, by the way, what about the fact that they hit Michael Penix below the knee twice on the subsequent drive and didn't call either of those?
Well, I mean, okay.
So I did a Google search.
More fodder.
I did a Google search that surprised me last night. I did a search on X saying, are people mad about hitting Penix below the knee? And he clearly got hurt. I think he probably hurt his MCL. And I came up with a totally different result. There was hundreds and hundreds of people saying bench Penix for Kirk Cousins.
Oh, I saw a little Cousins action.
Where did that come from? Kirk is back?
You know, some of the throws from Penix, some of them look great. Obviously. But some, they were low, they were high, they were everywhere.
It's so fascinating the way, as Collinsworth said, he puts out a perfect spiral. It looks like a jugs machine when it comes out of his hands because the spiral is so tight. I love the guy. I love the guy, but he is a bit erratic. And when he misses, it's really ugly. I think that might be partly because he's a left-handed quarterback. But the last drive, he hurt his knee, and he had wide open receivers that he missed by a good 10 yards. It was really weird.
Yeah.
They probably should have pulled him at the end of the game. Will you agree with that? He should have walked over and said, I can't do this, and let Cousins try and do that final drive.
Maybe, but I mean, listen, the guy's not going to take himself out, number one. But number two, then you bring in cold Kirk Cousins, who's been sitting on the bench for 4 hours. I don't know about that either. And
Are you fond of that?
I don't know if Penix, it's not like he couldn't play.
Well, he really couldn't on that last drive, and he was limping around after he got hit. I think those hits were illegal. I wouldn't even be surprised if there was a fine coming off of them. But Atlanta gave you a lot of promise by being the Bills, but they seem to find their level, which is right around 500. And now they can try to, they look like a wild card suitor because it looks like Tampa Bay is going to win that division for the 5th year in a row.
Yeah.
And Atlanta is going to be in a huge dogfight in the NFC.
That Falcons defense is legit, though. I mean, it's been a long time since we've been able to say that.
Wait. Legit, yes.
Their second overall defense in
Felt
terms
like
of the entire league in terms of opponents' yards allowed.
We'll see, yeah, but they're in the NFC South. I mean, I felt like San Francisco moved the ball well. They were moving the ball down.
Just to McCaffrey.
Yeah, but they moved in the first half. There was a weird interception where I think it went out of a receiver's hands that killed one scoring drive. And then, for some reason, Atlanta was able to have these massive marches down the field to keep their defense off the field. We'll see again. I feel like the Falcons always find their level. I'd be surprised. They're 3-3 now, and they feel like maybe a 4-3 team, but I don't know if they feel any better than that.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Curious to get the thoughts of our 49er fans in the audience. Also, I'm assuming ticked off Falcons fans as well. It's a safe place, safe space. 5-2 Niners, you believe?
Well, can we ask another question that you and I brought up before the show? Is it Mac Jones' job to lose now? Do you really go back to Brock Purdy? I mean, I know they're going to.
The fact that I just paused there means not good for Purdy.
They might because of the paycheck, but I feel like Mac Jones right now is doing a fine job.
Well, Mac's pretty hurt, but so is Purdy.
Yeah, no, that's true. But I don't know. Did Mac look hurt? He had a key run play. The guy can move a little bit better than I thought. I don't know. I mean, he didn't have gaudy numbers last night, as you pointed out, going against a pretty good defense. Feels like he's running the Kyle Shanahan system just like we thought he would.
Yeah, and they had a interesting quote last night going back to the whole 49ers pick Trey Lance over Mac Jones. We remember that from the draft. And I don't know if I ever heard this quote before, but Collinsworth attributed it to Kyle Shanahan, or maybe it's Tirico said, Shanahan said, I just had too much time to think about the pick.
Yep.
I don't know if he's ever put it that way before. Maybe he has, and I'm sorry. I didn't catch it. But the idea that they loved Mac and somebody changed somebody's mind. But now Kyle Shanahan is saying, I just sat there and thought about it for way too long. You start looking at some of the Trey Lance tape and you think, all right, this is like a 2.0 version of what we run. As opposed to just sticking with the 1.0 version. It's
funny because you remember that spring, they blindly moved up not knowing what they were going to do from 12 to 3. It helps to have a consistent plan going in. I mean, this is a funny, not that this is going to happen. This year, there are a lot of teams that need quarterback, and the college ranks are a complete mayhem when it comes to quarterback. Nobody knows who's good. So I feel like there's going to be teams who do that again, where they come up, they trade up, or they're at the top of the draft and overthink themselves and take the wrong guy.
888-710-4ISN. Does Mac keep the job even when Brock Purdy is healthy? And are you convinced that this 5-2 record for San Francisco means anything? Can I just say something about our show for a second? I was really proud of us yesterday as a collective.
Why's that?
Because when that happened at the end of the Giants-Denver Broncos game, we have a group thread, as one does with a bunch of friends. And I thought the restraint shown yesterday by the rest of us in the chat, because Manny and Bogusch are Giants fans, and how painful it was, and it must have been, to lose in that way, Manny. Were you not a little proud of us? Because we really could have went in on you there.
Yeah,
and it was silent.
It doesn't really help when you have that sleazeball Anthony Gallo texting you endlessly, who is actually a Broncos fan.
Okay, but he's allowed to do that. He's allowed to do that. That's different. That's Gallo. We love Gallo.
Nah.
Do we?
Yes.
Gallo's awesome.
But he's a Bronco fan, so he gets to do that. I thought the rest of us who are not necessarily
Gallo's a moron.
Bronco fans, I was proud of us yesterday. That could have gotten ugly. Sometimes we're like, the text comes and like the clock hasn't even hit 000 yet. Like, we can get in there a little, and it can get kind of mean.
I kind of assume, Manny, you might have wanted a loss because you're probably not doing anything special this year. Now you're going to move up high in the draft to get an offensive lineman.
I'm tired of that, dude. I've been doing that for a decade. I've been doing that since I was in college. Since I was a freshman in college. I'm tired of doing all that.
But you have Jackson Dart. You have Jackson Dart. Who cares about anything else?
I'm happy about that part.
You have Cam Scatterbo and Jackson Dart.
All right, Cam didn't really amount to much yesterday, but at least I know I have Jackson Dart, so that's why I'm not really jump off the 10th floor of 345 today this morning because I know I have Jackson Dart.
Not even joke about that, but I mean, listen, Bo Nix,
mid.
What he did in the fourth quarter, fine, you can say mid, and I'll agree with you for the first 3 quarters. And then the 16 for 25, 170 yards, 2 touchdowns. The first team in history to score 33-plus points after being shut out in the first 3 quarters.
Shane
they win
Bowen
33-32.
It was a gift to him. Merry Christmas in October. Shane Bowen with a little Christmas gift to the entire city of Denver. That guy should have been fired 3 weeks ago.
They should just take Shane Bowen and just put him on top of the Rocky Mountains and just say, figure it out.
Oh, no, they should have left Jude McIntyre out there. Have him find his way back to Ireland because that guy should get cut. That guy shouldn't even be allowed to land at Newark Airport yesterday.
So that was the kicker who missed 2 PATs and obviously the crucial one that would have made it.
It's been 7 years and they still don't have a kicker.
So
Let me ask you one question.
Would have made it a 3-point game and then they wouldn't have been able to win the game with a field goal. Yeah.
What's the all-time record for interceptions dropped per game? Because Jackson Dart's got to be at 7 per game. I mean, he throws the ball into the receivers, the quarterback's hands more than any quarterback ever, and they always drop it.
There
they actually taught it.
There was like 2 in the last drive.
There was 2. I mean, there was one where the 2 players were just like one fair caught it and the other collided into him. And then there was one Surtain dropped one too.
Rookie growing.
But there was actually early in the game there was 2 of them as well. Like, Jackson throws into a lot of trouble.
Also, the referees tried to help you, and they did help you on that last drive. You had 2 crazy pass interference and the roughing the passer. Come on. Anyway, you got that because I think the referees were like, "No way, the Giants are going to blow this, right?" And then you did.
By the way, on the roughing the passer, the guy was on 4th down about a yard short of the first down line, and the announcer's like, he got it.
He got it.
What was that about? And then they threw a flag anyway.
The line to gain was like the 40-yard line.
I think to be fair, I don't know if he got it, but that yellow line was not lined up with whatever the marker
was.
Oh,
okay. He looked short of the yellow line.
I kept watching on TV. I'm like, why is the yellow line like almost a half yard ahead?
It was a half yard ahead.
That threw everyone off. I still don't know if he got it, but it was a lot close. It was a lot closer than the yellow line made it appear.
But the roughing the passer was BS.
Oh, that was textbook. I don't know what you're talking about.
He did take a step. It wasn't the worst.
John Franklin Myers, that guy is a walking 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, you got. I mean, it's hard to slow down that much weight.
He didn't even land on him. He actually somehow got to the side and didn't even have the body weight thing. He pushed him to the ground.
Doesn't matter. Pass interference.
Yeah, but what happened? I mean, it didn't end up mattering.
He took a full step. Like, it doesn't matter how hard you hit him if you land on him. If you can't stop yourself.
What is this league? I don't even recognize it anymore. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Pearl, you said something. Was that the game of the year? The Broncos coming from behind, 33 points in the 4th quarter after they had been shut out. Can it be game of the year if only the 4th quarter was good?
Well, it's the first time in NFL history a team trailing by, or whatever it was, who'd been shut out the first 3 quarters, scored 33 points in the 4th quarter. That is never going to be broken. That's an crazy amount. They had 0 going into the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
They scored 33 points. I know you know this.
Yes, I said
yes. That'll never happen again. I mean, I don't know, like, there's some other crazy games, that week 1 game with your team, the Bills and the Ravens, but that was insane.
Congratulations, Shane Bowen.
And by the way, game of the year is not necessarily a compliment to that game either. I don't think either team is that great. I feel like the Broncos could be, they could easily be 2-5 or 5. I have no idea.
How do they keep winning these games?
America's luckiest team.
I'm serious. Your Eagles, they came back on.
Sure lost to the Jets.
The Jets in London was a debacle. They should have lost that one. And then also now, like, coming back from the depths of hell.
This is not a redeeming quality for this team. They're not very likable.
Gallows a moron.
They're walking around. They
talked a lot of before the game. But so did the Giants.
Benito and that other guy. I don't know. Like, they're so lucky they won that game. Like, because the way they would talk like they have 3 Super Bowl rings, and this team hasn't won jack. You played against 2 New York teams that can't manage their way out of a paper bag, and you almost lost to both of them. I mean, Sean Payton, I know he said the right things about how, listen, we got a lot to clean up. I hope the players kind of check themselves, too, because they've been walking around thinking like they've accomplished something, and Pat Mahomes is coming. You saw how he played on Sunday? Get ready, Denver, because there's a receipt coming for you guys if you guys are going to play like this all season.
They're not going to change.
Denver, it feels like they're going down the wild card round.
Yeah.
I agree.
Oh, absolutely.
But then again, so does everybody else except for the Chiefs. Everybody else. Every single team in the NFL feels like they're going out in the wild card round.
And definitely in the AFC. I mean, it is the Chiefs and no one else. I mean, we'll see what happens at Buffalo off the bye.
Frauds.
But
Buffalo will be fine. They will lose to the Chiefs in a later round.
Okay, great.
Divisional round, right?
Fantastic.
Divisional round, AFC title game. Man, I don't know.
I'll mark my calendar.
I think the Buffalo looking so mid right now might be it's a new formula for Buffalo to get over the top. We're gonna
try something.
We're gonna slow play this.
Anyway, so was that the game of the year? I still think that the Bills comeback on the Ravens would constitute game of the year so far, but
kind of early.
That Giants Broncos fourth quarter craziness? Is that game of the year?
Well, it's early. What are we, week 7? There's
Yeah.
going to be some more games of the year. But that one qualifies. That was nuts.
My
You wanna
future
put that as a
mother-in-law,
poll?
who knows nothing about football, probably thinks it does just because of how I was reacting. Because she was at my house this weekend. And she was like, "Oh, wow." And I'm like, "What is going on?"
No, it's just crazy. You don't understand it, Mom.
Yeah.
Do you call her Mom?
No, she's just Carolyn.
Wait,
Yeah.
do you call your mother-in-law mom?
I do not.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know if that's a thing as much anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I never loved that.
Yeah, it feels like betrayal.
Kind of, yeah.
I have a mom. Yeah.
Betrayal's a bit strong.
No.
I mean, my dad, he called
Yeah.
my grandparents Mr. and Mrs. Pearson up until they passed away. Like, they were always Mr. and Mrs. Pearson.
Is that kind of funny, though? At some point, that becomes like an inside joke.
It never really did. It was just how he always addressed them. It was interesting.
And
And
people-
then I expected to do that with Andrea's parents, and they were immediately like, I'm just
No.
Andre. And I'm just Carolyn.
It'd be more of a betrayal if you said, you're my real mom or you're my one and only mom. That'd be bad.
You know who felt betrayed yesterday? I did.
By your defensive coordinator, your defense in general.
Do you know who your daddy is? Bo Nix.
Oh.
Not really.
See?
He was so meh.
I
This
want to
is-
fly through this double pane glass and just strike you in the nose.
Oh,
And
get outta
This
here.
is where it started. I thought we showed a lot of restraint on that text thread yesterday of not shoving it in Manny and Bogusch's face, because that one was a brutal way to lose.
Oh, yeah. No, that was that was creative. That's the best way to put it.
888-710-4ISN. All right, see you guys on the phones. Couple things to react to early on. Your game, whatever you were watching over the weekend, we had tons of college craziness. It's pure chaos. Billy Napier got shown the door of Florida finally. So we'll talk about that as well. You know the deal on these Mondays. If we're not talking about your game, give us a call, 888-710-4ISN. San Francisco fans, are you feeling like your team is legit at 5-2 or just hanging on with all the injuries? And then was the Broncos-Giants fourth quarter craziness the game of the year?
Damn it.
Maggie and Perloff Show.
All right, Maggie. I'm on a hot streak, and I'm going to continue my hot streak
What's
tonight.
your secret?
Well, first of all,
You have a theory.
I have a cheat. Well, no, everyone is different. I have a cheat code on Jackson Smith and Jigba tonight. Seahawks receiver. In Prize Picks, you go more or less on their stats. 87.5 receiving yards. Go more because my fantasy team is playing against JSN, and my
That's a
fantasy
lock.
team always draws a season high from every player. And it was incredible. Of course, we went against Jalen Hurts today. Of course, we went against Rashee Rice today. Anyway, I will get revenge on Prize Picks. It's the best way to get paid if you're right. Right now, new users can get $50 in bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. App is simple to use, Maggie. Pick 2 or more players, pick more or less on their stat projections. Anything from TDs to threes. I'm winning a lot on hockey these days, and if you're right, you could win big.
How about a little Nathan Lucas tonight? If you want to put your JSN with a little more than 5.5, 5.5 hitter fantasy score. This is why Prize Picks is the obsession of this show, because it's so fun. And it really puts us to the test, but in the best way possible. Prize Picks is available in 40-plus states, including California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. Most importantly, all transactions on the app, they're fast, safe, and secure. So how do you get in on all this fun? Easy peasy. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code M&P. Give $50 bonus credit in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code M&P to get $50 bonus credit in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Mand P. You're in a 4-minute break. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie Perloff Show. NFL got super popular because of parody, you could argue, easily. And it's still crazy parody. Now college football is even more insane parody. Thanks to NIL and transfer portal. It's a new NFL. Everybody, it's so funny. In both leagues, college and pro, everybody's just about the same. Maybe you can squint and see one dominant team in the NFL in the Kansas City Chiefs. But, man, everyone seems to have some flaws, and that played out Sunday. That's why I think we're having a lot of great games. I mean, there's obviously one dominant team. Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts. But after that,
impressive yesterday. I thought you were going to say from college, though. Ohio State, I mean,
Ohio State doesn't play
world.
Anybody. Oh, my God. That is a team that we've not seen anything about. We do not know who they are.
Yeah, well, it turns out that Texas is not really any great shakes. It took them overtime to beat Kentucky. So I think the old Arch Manning, this was going to unlock something from him by beating Oklahoma last week. I don't know if we really saw that, but we're asking you this question because we were just talking about it in the break. What was the best game of the weekend? We were talking about the Broncos-Giants game was one of the most insane games of the weekend, no doubt. But you have a lot of things to choose from, including an incredible Friday night where Shohei Ohtani put on a display for the ages, 6 shutout innings, and also 3 home runs in a closeout game of the Milwaukee Brewers. But first, Leland is in Sacramento, wants to talk about his beloved 49ers. What's up, Leland? Are you believing in this team?
I think I am starting to believe just a little bit. I'm getting my hopes up, but I don't want to get super, inflated, but that was just such an incredible game. And there's one particular play that I'd like to get you guys' reaction on. Hey, good morning, Perloff.
Morning, bud.
Hey, so in the first series, the 49ers had the ball. Chris McCaffrey comes out of the backfield, pretty much went straight up, cuts to the right, and gets a pass out near the sideline. And he was starting to turn the corner, turn upfield, and he got caught by this linebacker I've never seen before. His last name was Diablo. I think his first name is Devon.
Yeah.
And the linebacker caught him. I thought he should have just turned the corner and ran away from the guy.
So you're saying he slowed down? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, well, he got caught and tackled. And I was thinking to myself, oh, Christian McCaffrey, man, he's broken. He's done. He's taken so much punishment, I thought at the time, that he's just going to have another measly 3 yards of carry the rest of the game. Boy, was I wrong. And, I watched the game unfolded, and he just had several great runs in the first half, second half, got a couple TDs, and I just have to admit, I was totally wrong about Christian McCaffrey.
And Leland, how about the catch on, what was it, 3rd and 13 on the touchdown drive where McCaffrey gets pulled into the end zone? It was like a 3rd and long situation, and he ran this incredible, I don't even know if it was a great route, but he got open at the end of the game, and thank you for the phone call. Leland, he's the whole offense.
Well, last night for sure. One thing about I think I've had the same thought as Christian McCaffrey toast. He's averaging 3.5 yards per carry even after a great game last night. He hasn't been effective at all this year. Like the run game, he's been good as a slot receiver, but he's not been a good running back until last night.
The linebacker is Divine Diablo, one of the great names in the NFL, played for the Raiders for a long time. Jimmy is in San Diego, wants to know what happened to his Chargers yesterday. Good morning, Jimmy.
Good morning, you guys. We got worked like a rented mule. They beat the snot out of us. Herbert, he ran for his life all day. He took the snap and he looked like Archie Manning when they first when the New Orleans Saints were an expansion team. That's what it reminds me of. Get the snap and run for your life.
Threw for a lot of yards.
Yeah, he threw for a lot of yards because all he did was run for his life, guy. The Colts looked really good. Daniel Jones looked like Johnny Unitas.
What happened to the Chargers defense? I understand the tackles are out, right? So that's why
another tackle got hurt. I had never even heard of that guy who went down.
Yeah, the offensive line, Jimmy, thank you for the call, is just an absolute mess, right? It's in shambles, and Herbert's trying to make chicken salad here with a very banged up offensive line. But what happened to the Chargers defense, Pearl? Remember how good they were in the beginning of the season?
I know, but they obviously didn't keep Joey Bosa. Is that defense
no, this season. They were good this season.
I'm just saying, where you look at that team, do they have names on defense? It's kind of just hoping Derwin James makes a play and pray. Eventually, I think they were going to wear it out because the offense is putting a lot of pressure on them, too. I don't know. Was this defense coming into the season something that you were scared of?
Well, not really, but then I saw them play. Maybe I was fooled against Kansas City, and obviously they put a whooping on the Raiders, who are not very good, and I guess they kind of escaped against Denver. I thought this defense was actually going to be a thing.
Last year they had the number 1 ranked defense when it comes to points last season, so they came in with a good defense.
Yeah, but remember last year they played a murderer's row of scrubs. They played every single bad team possible, so that was totally skewed.
A murderer's row of scrubs is a great line. But here's the thing. Think about this. They are one Justin Herbert Houdini effort away from losing 4 in a row. They beat that Dolphins team last week, Pearl, and I don't even know if they should have. And the Dolphins look like they don't want to play football anymore. So I don't know what's going on with the Chargers.
It's so funny. I was thinking yesterday, they're coming into the season. One of the narratives was that Sean Payton and Jim Harbaugh now have had time with their teams, and they're going to create their identities. And these two teams are going to be Super Bowl contenders. I ain't seen that with the Chargers. And not really with the Broncos either.
You want to add Pete Carroll into that mix, who was supposed to come in and take down Andy Reid? Not happening.
He's in his first year. I think Harbaugh and Peyton had a much better chance to rebuild. Pete Carroll was taking over the Raiders. You could have Vince Lombardi come back to life, and I don't know if he could do anything with that team.
Yeah, looks like that's fair. Quickly, JT's in Atlanta. Best game of the weekend was what, JT?
Without a doubt. I don't know. I know we're talking about football because it was yesterday, but without a doubt, it had to be the Dodger game. And if you're a Brewers fan, but if you're just a baseball fan, that Shohei experience, you said the 6 scoreless innings. You forgot about the 10 Ks. Because it wasn't just six score to start the game off with, striking out the side, then leading off with a home run. He could have stopped right there.
Yep.
And we would have been like, man, that's something we've never seen anything like that before. But he did it. And and just that second home run.
Pearl, do you want to do your obligatory, this is not that impressive from Shohei Ohtani?
Okay, here's the thing about Shohei Ohtani. We will know how special this was when we see him in the next round. Because it's possible they're up 3-0 and he's like, all the pressure is off now at the plate. Not pitching. Pitching was nasty. I'll give you that. But he has been terrible at the plate when it counted against the Phillies. Like, they easily could have lost that series. There was a bunch of flubs by the Phillies early in the Brewers series. So when the pressure's on, is he going to be able to hit? Or when you're up 3-0 and only one team in the history of the sport has come back from that? So that's what I want to see. Closeout game was 3-0.
Closeout game is a closeout game.
So he could have gone to the bullpen.
I know, but you still got to close it out. The hardest game to win is the last one, right? And just to how you know, he was. You're right, Perloff. He was horrible. He was terrible.
He was striking out like crazy.
But that one game got him the NLCS MVP off of one game, and he was horrible. I mean, and I agree with you. He was terrible the first three. So that shows you how great he was in that game. That he was able to get the NLCS MVP with that performance by being terrible the other three games.
He got the MVP.
You, JT.
Yeah, isn't that the most asinine thing you've ever heard in your life? Isn't that ridiculous? Off of one game where he throws 3 home runs, gets 3 home runs, and he strikes out 10, he gets MVP.
You're acting like it's a game where he went 4 for 5. Guys, he's doing something no one has seen before.
He bat $150 before that game, Mags. Come on.
Nah, I like this effort. This is like me in school where I don't do no work until the very last minute. Still getting like 95 on the test.
It's like Tyrese Halliburton getting the gold medal. Come on.
In game 2.
He was a passenger.
In game 2, when the series was still a series, he got up 5 times and struck out 3 of the times. In game 3, when the Brewers
I think he intentionally walked the other 2, but yeah. When
the Brewers had a chance, he had 2 strikeouts and 4 at bats. Like, the guy's been whiffing. He's had a 4 strikeout game. He's had 6 multi-strikeout games. Like, he is not playing well. I mean, definitely, like, he should be. If he was awesome, then the Dodgers would win even easier. But right now, they have the best pitching.
They swept them. What do you mean win even easier?
Their pitching rotation has been crazy. Like, they have.
He's part of the rotation, though.
Yes. Yeah, this is Glass now and Snell and Shohei.
But look at these scores: 2-1, 5-1, 3-1, 5-1. I mean, this is not a murderer's row. This is a dominant pitching staff. And did you see that coming with the Dodgers? When you think of this Dodgers team, you're like, whoa, they have the greatest pitching staff in the history of mankind. No one thinks that.
I can't believe you guys are trying to downplay maybe one of the greatest things we've ever seen in sports with our own eyes.
No, it was incredibly impressive. Yeah. Enough for him to get MVP honors.
Not a little A-Rodish to me. Come on. A little A-Rodish.
It wasn't A-Rodish, by the way.
8th inning, nobody on, up 9-2. He's going to hit the ball 600 feet.
No. I knew you would say this. He actually, to the second home run, made it 5-0, right? Am I right about that?
Yeah. Yes.
Second home run, I think, out of 3, made it 5-0. That was actually incredibly important because the Brewers had loaded the bases in the inning before, and they were a grand slam away from tying the game. So to put him up 5 actually is really important. That's not A-Rod up 8-2 in the 9th inning.
Thank God for that home run because the Brewers scored 4 runs the entire series. They were really going to hit 4 runs on one play. They stunk the series up. They made no contact with the baseball. I know. There's no way to... Well, you do know as a fact the Brewers were not winning that series. They were down 3-0.
Of course. I agree with JT. The closeout game is the hardest. Think about the NBA. The team up 3-0 never ever wins that 4th game.
I just do want to make this. I will come around on this game if Shohei turns a corner and plays well in game 1 and 2 when the series is at stake in the World Series. Then I'll be like, okay, that was amazing. But if it just turned out like he was relaxed because it was 3-0 at the plate, that is. By the way, his pitches are like he looks like Chris Sale. I don't know how much movement he got. Why don't they pitch him 8 innings every game? He's amazing.
You didn't even want him out there.
Yeah.
I know. We didn't really see him that much this season. He'd come in for like 4 innings. They'd pull him. They'd pull him. It was crazy. But I do think the Brewers are really cold.
Gordon Damer's here. Gordon, would you mind hanging out with us for a second so we give you the full headlines and do the whole thing?
I'm here for you.
I think Gordon was supporting me when I brought up the A-Rod line. I felt that vibe that Gordon was in my corner.
It's a great line about it. The hardest game is the closeout game is to finish it off. I don't know if that's still the case when you're already up 3-0 in the series.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's not what
Baseball's
every
weird.
sports. That's not what every athlete says, though.
Shohei
Baseball's
Ohtani could have gone 1 for 4 on Friday with 3 strikeouts, and the Dodgers probably still would have won the game 7-0.
I feel like closeout game almost implies like the series is a bit at stake, though, when you say that. Like that kind of is implied. Like closeout game, this could be hard.
Tonight's a closeout game. You want to talk about closeouts? You'll get that in Ontario
I have a
tonight.
friend, Dave Davis, could say this is a must-win game for both teams.
Yeah, game 7. Is this a must-win? Maybe. All right, Gordon, hang out with us. You guys can answer the question. What was the best game of the weekend? Was it the closeout game of game 4? Dodgers, Brewers, or was it
we got
Giants,
like Vandy,
Broncos?
LSU, and like, it's going to be hard for Vandy, LSU to knock that 3 home run, 10 strikeout game out. I'll admit that.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Okay, keep them coming, guys. What did you see in your game yesterday? It's the Maggie Perloff Show.
It's Sunday again. He's cracking a beer, saying this is the one, this is our year. By halftime, he's standing red in the face, yelling same damn shit. It's a damn disgrace. Yeah, Christian Fields and these damn Saints, they break his heart, test his faith and restraints. They'll score one drive, then fall apart, tearing that poor man's soul apart. And Billy's still sleeping in late again, calling out sick just like last weekend. Yeah, Christian Fields and these damn Saints, they turn his hope into whiskey complaints. Kaplan's laughing, Maggie smiling wide, Perloff saying next week's the ride. But Christian's in chat saying I've had it, I quit. Then the next damn Sunday, he's right back in it. Yeah, Christian Fields and these damn Saints, they drive him nuts, but he ain't no saint. He'll scream and shout, say that's bullshit, then pour another drink and laugh a bit. And Billy's still ghosting work, no shame. Might be time to take his name off the frame. Yeah, Christian Fields and these damn Saints, every heartbreak he still shows up, no complaints. He's custom loved and prayed and cried, from Bourbon Street to the countryside. Still tunes in when Maggie talks, like therapy through football shocks. So here's to Christian Fields, loyal, full, bleeding black and gold like it's old school cool. The Saints blow leads, Pilates MIA, but he's back on YouTube every damn day. Yeah, Christian Fields and these damn Saints, he don't give a shit, he just pours and waits. And these damn Saints, he don't give a shit, he just pours and waits.
One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. 45 seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie Perloff Show. We're asking you what was the best game of the weekend. Got a lot of options here, starting with Friday night. Shohei Ohtani on the mound in a closeout game. 6 scoreless, 10 Ks, 3 home runs. Dodgers now await the winner of Game 7 tonight between the Mariners and the Toronto Blue Jays. Let's get to Gordon Damer. We got so busy talking about whether Shohei is Babe Ruth or A-Rod in the last segment. Was that it? How impressive was that on Friday night? But Gordon, what's going on, dude?
Folks, football is heating up and basketball is back too. So download the Prize Picks app and use promo code PRIMETIME.
And let's not forget Shallow.
Yeah, and get $50 bonus credit instantly when you play $5. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details. Well,
Flash Gordon.
Yeah, the beauty of sports is, you can tune in a game and you might see something you've never seen before. That was certainly the case for the Giants yesterday.
39 yards for the win. Snap, placement, kick on the way. It is good! Bronco players celebrating like they just won a home playoff game. And why not?
Yeah, they call them Broncos radio. Denver rallies from down 19-0, beats the Giants 33-32.
I thought really where the Giants may have had this game was when Sean Payton got a personal foul penalty
Completely
for
melting
running
down
out on the field after a bad pass interference call. I thought that's when I was like, all right, now the Giants are really going to close this thing out. It got dicey there for a second. They blew this big lead, but Denver's imploding, and I was wrong.
Couple things. Dropped interceptions always lead to big plays. It's a fact of the universe, and the Broncos dropped 2 of them in the last drive. They scored too early. The Giants did. When Jackson Dart reached the ball over and they didn't know it was a touchdown at first, I was like, oh, they screwed that up. They left way too much time.
I thought they were going to call a timeout, too. I thought the Broncos were going to let them score. They should have.
I have a question about that. Is there, because I was thinking about this watching the game. I know it's maybe impossible to do, but is there any way teams can, they're on the 1 yard line. Can you just do a QB sneak that doesn't get a first down just to run the clock?
I was thinking.
I think this has to be part of your strategy now.
Well, I think 2 timeouts. I think the Broncos had 2 timeouts.
Especially with the new kickoff rule.
Fair first down. Yeah. You could have done it twice.
Sure. In the new kickoff rule, remember the 13 seconds Bills lost? That was radical at the time. Now it's like 25 seconds is an eternity in the new NFL. But you get the ball at the 40-yard line. Although the Broncos, ironically, screwed up the kickoff return, only got to the 23.
Yeah, but they only need the field goal because the Giants kicker had missed 2 PATs and they failed on a 2-point conversion, so they were chasing points the rest of the fourth quarter.
NFL teams had won 1,602 straight games when leading by 18 points or more in the fourth quarter. And the Giants have now had 3 losses when leading by 19 points over the last 20 seasons, the last of which was, of course, the Deshaun Jackson game.
Oh, I was there for that bad boy.
As if Manny couldn't feel worse.
I was there for that bad boy.
I want to leave.
Top 13 players' odds for NFL MVP are all quarterbacks. The first non-quarterback in MVP voting, Jonathan Taylor.
High snap for Jones, but he pulls it down, gives it to Taylor. Marching to his right. He's at the 5. Touchdown! The trifecta again for Jonathan Taylor. 3 rushing touchdowns for the greatest running back going right now.
Yeah, now 10 touchdowns on the season for him. Colts beat the Chargers 38-24. Indy now 6-1 on the season.
Who's higher? Daniel Jones has got to be higher than Jonathan Taylor.
Daniel Jones is higher. There's 13
Daniel Jones being in the MVP conversation. What a time to be alive.
You know, and I was saying going into this game was like, you know, whoever might be like the bigger fraud might kind of get exposed in this game a little bit. Well, I think we found it.
Yeah, and 38-24 did not even feel – it felt a lot worse than that.
No, Herbert had to do everything to bring him back in that game.
I mean, Chargers injuries, I mean, once again, what do you expect? I mean, how any team is supposed to they lost – was this the 6th offensive lineman injury they had this season?
They're kind of the Niners. They're another team where it's like they need to check their whole medical staff.
Oh, they're worse than the Niners.
For years.
Yeah. They've been leading the league in IR. They're even worse than the Niners. I mean, I don't know what's going on there. Remember when they punctured Tyrod Taylor's –
yeah, they almost killed him.
Yeah. Never forget that.
Yeah.
Although
and
almost killed
led us to Justin Herbert, but yeah, a little earlier than we thought.
Yeah, it turns out it's kind of like the Giants with Jackson Dart. Should have just gone right to him.
Yeah.
The Russell Wilson experiment was not so great. I don't know how we got sidetracked there.
Said that he hoped that they would have. He told John Mara that I wish you guys would have went to him before, after we played you guys.
Did he say?
He said that. Yeah,
he did.
Oh, he's still got a grudge against Russ.
Oh, does he ever?
God, this pettiness. A lot of pettiness yesterday.
He's like 72, and he's still got this anger in his heart.
No problems for the Eagles passing game yesterday. Jalen Hurts, 326 through the air, 3 touchdowns. Eagles take care of the Vikings 28-22. Sunday Night Football, it was the Niners over the Falcons 20-10. 2 games to wrap up the week on Monday Night Football tonight. Bucks, Lions, Texans, Seahawks, and as of 6:50 Eastern Time, Mike McDaniel still the head coach of the Miami Dolphins.
Oof.
Yes, think about that. So you got to fly back from Cleveland, but that's not that long of a flight.
But it was
a lot of weather out there.
Yeah.
Bad weather. Maybe you're delayed on the tarmac a little bit. So you get
another day closer to death.
Get in late. What do you think? You call the meeting at 10?
That was a miserable experience.
I don't
or do you
even
just
know.
keep them and keep losing and get a number 1 overall pick and fight it out with the Jets to see who has the worst record?
I mean, I mean, Tua is melting down in real time. He melted down again. I don't know what that dude's talking about. Yeah, nothing good is happening in Miami.
There, benched yesterday for Quinn Ewers.
Well, he was just like pull him out of there.
Oh, Bogusch got some playing time yesterday?
The one thing is, you know what their biggest flaw is? They can't tackle at all.
Icing his body.
Wow,
they're on pace to be one of the worst run defenses in the history of the league.
Yeah, and by the way, I keep seeing that, some of these coaching who could replace certain coaches, blah, 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 like Tennessee. One would be Anthony Weaver, the defensive coordinator for Miami.
He's it's funny.
He's very well thought of.
He's
and that's
very
fine.
well thought of.
But what's going on with this team? You just said they can't tackle.
I mean, they paid all these guys who just either got hurt or have not delivered. They've had. I feel like they got close, and then they're just quitting all over the place.
Yeah,
quitting on the coach.
They got a roster of losers.
Yeah,
it's just so bad. Like I just think they're one of those teams where they need to just literally replace all 53 guys and start over. It's that bad.
Except Darren Waller. I like that guy.
Yeah.
I think he got hurt that
year.
They didn't use him, by the way.
Yeah.
Did he get hurt or was he just
he did get hurt. I think he did get hurt yesterday.
Okay, because the announcers, I said, like, I can't believe that Darren Waller hasn't gotten a target. I'm like, I can't believe this team is even trying to win this game. I don't know what was going on.
I mean, were they trying? They lost 31-6.
Try is a bit optional. Yeah.
The Browns.
It was a little, but it was cold and wet.
Yeah. By the way, a pec strain for Darren Waller, according to Drew Rosenhaus.
Ouch.
In life, the best 2 words. There's a lot of options there. Free pizza, pants optional. Best 2 words in sports, though. Game 7.
Swing and a laser. Left field in deep. Sinking toward the bullpen. Gone! Plakata! Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 5-0 Blue Jays in the 5th.
Yeah, Vlad's 6th home run of the postseason. That's the call on Blue Jays radio. Blue Jays beat the Mariners 6-2, so we get Game 7 tonight. Kirby Bieber on the mound.
Best 4 words in sports. Game 7, pants optional.
There you go.
It's a new sport.
That's Manny's house.
It's an old.
Hell yeah, it is.
Think about that. Best 2 words, open bar.
Open bar, that's a good one.
Those are the best 2 words. Or breakfast buffet. And usually the open bar and then the breakfast buffet in that order.
Usually free could be thrown in there, too. Free breadsticks, free beer, free pizza.
Free refills, yeah.
Pizza party definitely was best 2 words in elementary school.
Oh, my God. Half day was good in elementary
that's a good
school.
one.
That was a hell of a day.
Snow day also.
Oh, yeah. For us, for people in the Northeast.
There is no dopamine rush for a 9-year-old better than a snow day.
You just pray for it, and then it actually happens. Although now, post-COVID, I don't know if they do those anymore.
I don't think it
work
snows,
remotely.
period.
Oh, that. Let's not
now
get into
they
that.
plan it out so far ahead of time. Like back in the day, you had to go to like the local radio channel to find out if your school.
I remember the numbers.
Was like the draft. That was like, oh yes,
that's the NFL draft.
Yeah.
Find out from sources that the school is closed today.
People understand how much play-by-play is consumed in the nude.
What is that from?
I listen to games in the shower.
What?
And I don't know how that's applicable to this. Anyway, what was the best game of the weekend? And Billy Napier, he gone.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. 45 seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
We're asking you what was the best game of the weekend, and boy, do you have a lot of options. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. You want to go to Friday with Shohei Ohtani. A performance for the ages. 6 shutout innings, 10 Ks, 3 home runs. Dodgers are into the World Series. They'll await the winner of tonight's Game 7 between the Mariners and the Blue Jays. So we got all types of awesome going on with baseball. But, Pearl, yesterday that Giants-Broncos game in the fourth quarter was drunk. I mean, that was just silly. And how the Giants blew that lead and the Broncos came back and scored 33 points in the fourth quarter. No one has ever done that in the history of the NFL after being shut out through the first 3 quarters. You had some great stuff from college as well with Diego Pavia hitting the Heisman pose, the Vanderbilt quarterback showing that he is anything but a fluke. In year 2, they beat LSU at home on Saturday.
I mean, it is the week and the year of amazing upsets, too. You see, sorry, EJ, your Miami Hurricanes go down on Friday night. That was a great game. Then to see Arizona State knock off Texas Tech, who is a really good team. That was awesome, too. 4 top 10 teams lost. Total chaos in college football.
No doubt. And we're asking you this question today, and we'll probably revisit this one throughout the season if things keep going the way they are going. But in college football, you never know. Who is the biggest threat to Ohio State right now? Because this was an easy game for them. They made easy work of Wisconsin, whose coach is likely going to be out the door. Billy Napier was shown the door after they actually beat Mississippi State, but they have a bye week, and then the Gators are going to play Georgia, so I guess they're going to regroup there. But, Pearl, it's kind of crazy to me that Ohio State, have they played the Murderer's Row yet? No, they have not. But who does look like they are a threat? You could say Notre Dame. 2 close losses to Miami and Texas A&M. Outside of that, they've been good, really good. Beat USC. Never really felt like USC was even really threatening in that game. And then Oregon, who obviously had a big bounce back week this week against Rutgers, but lost last week to Indiana at home. So it's like all these teams, you said Miami, there's just does not look like a dominant team.
It's very funny.
Outside of Ohio State.
Yeah, absolutely. Just real quick on Ohio State, very funny. Their next 4 games are Penn State. That was supposed to be hard. Not now. At Purdue, UCLA, at Rutgers. That UCLA is the big challenge on that schedule. It's insane because a few weeks ago they were the worst team in the country. Anyway, that speaks to this year. And I don't even think Ohio State is dominant. I mean, Julian Saint's numbers are insane, but do we know how he would perform under pressure? And he might get to the college football playoff without ever really being under the fire or being tested. It's very possible. We'll see how Michigan does against them. To me, the number one threat it's obvious. I mean, the way they're playing right now, Alabama seems like the team, right? I feel like Alabama, because Ty Simpson looks like a future pro. Yep. We didn't really know that coming into the season. Lost that game to Florida State. It just feels like they're the most complete team, and kind of Kellen DeBoer almost in 2 years recreated the Washington offense. I'm into them. I think they look great. So to me, they're far and away the number one most obvious threat.
888-710-4ISN. Ty Simpson, the last I checked, which was late last night, still second in Heisman to Fernando Mendoza, and also second in terms of who could be the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. Just something to keep an eye on.
Mendoza, right?
If you're into that kind of thing. Chris is in Birmingham, wants to talk about Alabama. Chris, I'm assuming you agree with Perloff. They are the biggest threat to Ohio State right now?
And I can care less about the Breeze 10. They play Purdue. It's not even getting to that.
The Breeze 10.
Yeah. First off, Perloff, watch the NFC South slander because the Eagles can anytime have their pockets ran by the Panthers. And Max, whenever Atlanta loses, America finds balance and purpose to living. Speaking of purpose, let's talk about my Saints, which apparently, which has driven me to think emo and believe that life is only a feeble concept of man's own understanding of the inevitable black hole that is the existence itself, basically being a cruel, sick joke by your creator, equivalent to Lucy yanking the ball from Charlie Brown.
Yeah, I don't think you're being harsh enough, actually.
But enough about depression. Let's talk about my Crimson Tide. 4 ranked wins in a row without a bye for the first time in SEC since Saban's LSU squad. I need all the overreactors and shock value sports apparatus to throw this team in the trash in our modern day college football sports that had takes of the first weeks of a team season defines them off the very one game to come forth, because I never threw them away and overreacted. I gave them time to find themselves. Now look at me.
Yeah,
I got
Chris,
a stogie in my.
You're feeling good right now, but here's the thing about that. And Chris, thank you for the phone call, and always appreciate the creativity there. And sorry about your Saints. That was tough yesterday. Bears defense looking really, really inspired with the 4 takeaways yesterday against New Orleans. But Pearl, here's the thing. I know Chris wants to circle back around and dunk on everybody who said, how could Alabama lose to FSU on the road? Oh my gosh, Kalen DeBoer on the hot seat. I'm going back to week 1. But here's the thing. With the college football playoff, we always knew one loss at the beginning of the season was not going to crater anything about Alabama's run, right? We just weren't sure who they were. Now, it turns out FSU are the ones who are the actual frauds here.
Well, the fact that FSU is so bad right now makes that loss all the more mysterious. I think when the season is over, Alabama's going to have this incredible resume and one of the worst losses of any team in the playoff. That being said, I mean, this 2025, Alabama, there's nothing guaranteed. They're not in the playoff yet because the way the SEC is working out, you're going to have, 7 or 8 2-loss teams. Like Alabama, I'm telling you, this year anybody could lose to anybody. So let's not totally crown them.
I also think a 3-loss team could get into. I really do.
Yeah, but if you're going to have all these SEC teams with 2 losses and 3 losses, I think you're not going to be able to jump a 2-loss team. It's going to be a problem. There's a lot of good records there.
I get you, but think about it. Now with Penn State out of the equation in the Big Ten, who are the Big Ten teams that are getting in? Is it going to be Indiana, Ohio State, and Oregon? And let's see how the rest of the season goes.
Yeah, and I guess, is Illinois still floating around?
Yeah, but I mean, they lost pretty convincingly to Indiana. But still, 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476.
You also have the ACC coming strong, whether they deserve to or not. Georgia Tech and Miami, and I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be hard because of parity. It really is it's legit transfer portal parity because these teams can't stack their depth charts. It's madness.
Let's go to Big Friendly. He's our pal in California. Friendly, big Dodger fan, big Rams fan. So obviously it was a pretty sweet weekend for you, sir.
Maggie Malone, EJ the Bionic EP, Daddy Cool, Flash Gordon, Manny Wapo, I'm sorry your Giants turned into the Mets in the fourth quarter. Good morning, and thank you for taking my call.
Even as a Mets fan, that was pretty on the nose. Can't even be mad at you.
Okay, real quick, because I want to talk about the Dodgers, but I just want to highlight something about the Rams yesterday. The Rams were able to score and move the ball without Puka and Adams on the field. That 13-man package, I love it.
Yeah, they ran 13 personnel, 40% of the snaps or something like that after I think they'd only run it 6 times in Sean McVay's whole career. It's pretty crazy.
And Sean McVay's, his statement was, we cannot replace Puka, so all hands on deck. Munfield, first career touchdown. Fergie, first career touchdown. Now, Maggie Malone, when I come to your table, I come with respect and I come with facts. What people are saying about the Dodgers are demeaning, disgraceful, preposterous. If I knew any more Johnny Cochran phrases, I would say it. If the phrase does not fit, button your lip. Now, real quick, all I've been hearing all weekend is that the Dodgers bought a championship. Now, Maggie Malone, Max Muncy was on his way out of baseball when the A's were done with him. Now he has one of the best eyes in baseball. Mookie Betts, Boston did not want to pay him, so they traded him to the Dodgers.
Who did? Yeah.
Yeah, no, Tommy Edman. You want to go through the other friendly? You had me until this one.
Mookie, though, you paid Mookie a ton. Quick.
No, he's saying that it wasn't their fault. If Boston just didn't cheap out, that he would have never been available. By the way, Mookie Betts should have never been available. Boston totally made a mistake.
Glass now? Tampa didn't want him. San Diego didn't want Snell. I'm just trying to get rid of all that. But real quick, the reason why Shohei Ohtani was the MVP, yes, Game 5 was phenomenal.
Maybe the most brilliant game we've all ever seen with our own eyes.
He probably kept the Phillies in the series a little bit because he was just not getting the ball in play. It was weird. He's at the top of the lineup and an automatic out. It was just very strange. I worried that, oh, God, is he like a Clayton Kershaw type? Because he wasn't great last year in the playoffs.
Well, he's hurt.
Yeah, I know. He's holding his shoulder. But no, he certainly reversed that in one game.
I did not have a problem with him winning NLCS MVP because we're never going to see 6 shutout innings, 10 Ks, and 3 home runs all in the same game. Not going to happen. I mean, I never thought
unless he does it again. Yeah.
Well, I guess I never thought we'd see that ever, period, to begin with. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Again, we're asking you what is and what was the best game of the weekend. Is it obvious? Had to be Ohtani? Seeing a little Broncos Giants here as well. Let us know what you think. You can jump in the chat. YouTube.com/InfinitySportsNet, Twitch.tv/InfinitySportsNetwork. We say good morning to the Weedos and the coffee drinkers. Also on X at Maggie Gray. We're going to come back, talk a little Billy Napier. He felt like Pearl finally shown the door.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like, he was basically announced before this game, which he won, that he was done.
Yeah, so the Sharks were circling there, and it turns out everyone was right. Billy Napier was fired, even though the Gators beat Mississippi State. Andy Staples has been covering this story since the very beginning. We will talk to him about Florida and more next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
All right, this portion of the show is sponsored by Square. More than 4 million neighborhood businesses run on Square. To learn more, go to square.com or just stop by your favorite local business. See you in the neighborhood. Square. Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. Crazy college football weekend. Going into Friday night, by the way, I had 2 big takes coming in the weekend that Matt Rule was about to establish his dominance in Nebraska and never leave that place. And then that Arch Manning was still going number 1. So we're going to move on past those and go, let's talk about a little Florida, Maggie.
Yeah, Nebraska not very good against Minnesota, and then Arch Manning needed overtime to beat out Kentucky. But obviously one of the big headline things of the weekend outside of all that chaos was Billy Napier was fired after a win in Mississippi State. We welcome in Andy Staples from On3, got the Andy and Ari podcast, which is absolute must listen. And Andy was a Florida alum. Andy, thank you for joining us. How you doing?
I'm good. It's been a weird weekend. Like Perloff said, it started Friday night with Miami Louisville, and it just never stopped.
Yeah. So we know this is a busy time of year, but let's start with Florida, right? As you like to say very humbly that you were once a human tackling dummy for that program as a walk-on. But, you know, it's been tough for them to find a head coach since Urban Meyer. There have been 4 head coaches. None of them have made it through their 4th season. Ultimately, why has Florida as a program had so much trouble filling this role since Urban Meyer left?
It just bad choices, I think, because it always seems to be kind of one thing or another. But like if Will Muschamp, who was the coach after Urban Meyer, if Will Muschamp had come in with modern ideas about offense, which he did kind of adapt to later, he might still be here because they always had great defenses. They always had really good players when he was there, but they didn't play well enough on offense, and they didn't have the quarterback. And then you've got the what ifs, like, because if Muschamp hadn't been fired when he was, there's a good chance they would have signed Lamar Jackson because his staff was doing a good job recruiting Lamar Jackson. So, I mean, you think about all the what ifs, but it's always this one thing. Like Dan Mullen, great at coaching them up on the field, did not really want to recruit in the way that allows you to compete with the Kirby Smarts of the world, and at the time, the Nick Sabans of the world. So they get Billy Napier, who says, I'm going to recruit like that. And he did attempt to recruit like that. And he did make the roster better. But everything Dan Mullen did on the field, Billy Napier couldn't do on the field. He insisted on calling his own plays. He wasn't that good at it. He had this huge staff, but they were very sloppy and unorganized. And sometimes they'd put 10 guys out on the field for the field goal block team. On Saturday night, in his final game in year 4, they score a touchdown in the fourth quarter. They line up for a 2-point conversion because they're up 12. They need to go up 14. They line up with 12 players. It wasn't like a guy was running off the field. It was, let's line up for the play, and there's 12 players. So, like, that's the sort of stuff that just kept going. So it's funny because everybody's like, well, they fired him after a win. I'm like, did you watch the win?
Hey, Andy, so the debate out there has been, what's a better job, Penn State or Florida? So I'm curious about your thoughts about Penn State as well. But, say Lane Kiffin had both jobs on the table, what would you take?
Well, Lane would pick Florida because I think he'd rather be in Florida.
Yeah.
The question with Lane is going to be, will he stay at Ole Miss or would he pick Florida? Because I do think that's who Florida's going to go after. And I don't know what the answer to that is, because if we're looking at the schedule and kind of reading the tea leaves, if Ole Miss beats Oklahoma this week, Ole Miss has a pretty clean path to 11-1, potentially SEC championship game. I don't know if you can make the Florida has a higher ceiling argument than Ole Miss when Ole Miss is pretty competitive right now. Looks like you can win a national championship there right now. Maybe you just want to live in Florida. That's personal preference. But in terms of Florida and Penn State, I'd say they're both kind of on the same level, not the top of their conference, which, for Penn State, that would be Ohio State or Michigan, teams that have just won a national title. In the SEC at Florida, it'd be Alabama, it'd be Georgia. And the thing is, at both places, you can climb into the top of the conference. If you hire the right person, if you do the right things, you can climb into the top of the conference. You can be dominant. With Florida, we've seen utter dominance for a period of time. I mean, you think of Steve Spurrier gets there in 1990, and then through the Urban Meyer era, so there were 3 years of Ron Zook in there, but Spurrier and Urban Meyer together from 1990 to 2008, that's 3 national titles, that's 8 official SEC titles, and 9 times where you finished first in the SEC. So that is definitely something Florida can pull off, but history has said it takes an all-time great coach, like a Hall of Fame type coach.
Andy Staples joining us. Of course, love reading him on On3. Fantastic website. The Andy and Ari podcast is a must listen, as I said. Okay, so let's say Lane Kiffin uses Florida to just get a raise from Ole Miss or whatever. Who else is realistic, and who do you think would be the next call maybe that the Gators would make?
My next call would be Eli Drinkwitz at Missouri, which, look, I said this last night on one of our videos, is Florida fans want the spiritual successor to Steve Spurrier. They want a coach who wears a visor, who scores points, and who talks trash. And that could be Lane Kiffin, but that also could describe Eli Drinkwitz, who's done a really good job at Missouri. And it's one of those that the casual fan is like, thinks Lane and Eli are very different. They're actually not that different in terms of achievement and in terms of what they've done at the school they're at. The records are fairly similar. What they've had to do to get them where they are is fairly similar. The roster building that they've had to do. So those guys are pretty close. Jeff Brom at Louisville was a name that percolated last week, and it was interesting because he's at his alma mater. Would he do it? But he's one that I think would like to have the higher ceiling. And Jeff Brom, if you remember correctly, took Purdue to the Big Ten championship game. So if you were kind of poo-pooing that, then you watched it Friday night when he went down to Miami and Louisville beat Miami. That's a guy that can win anywhere, and I think Penn State may give him a call too. So I do think they're going to both call Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame, and Marcus Freeman's going to maybe take a phone call or two, get a couple extra zeros on the check from Notre Dame. Maybe if there's some other stuff he needs at Notre Dame, maybe a little better food in the dining hall, anything like that he wants to add on there. He makes sure that happens. But you're not doing your job if you are Pat Kraft at Penn State or Scott Strickland at Florida if you don't call Marcus Freeman and at least make him tell you no.
So who do you target for Penn State if Freeman says no?
Well, that is a very, very good question, Perloff, because Matt Rule was the name that popped up immediately, and it was obvious why. Matt Rule is a former Penn State player, walked on under Joe Paterno. He and Pat Kraft, the AD there, worked together when Pat Kraft was the AD at Temple and Rule was the head coach at Temple. But the Minnesota game aside, I said last week before that Minnesota game that Rule probably stays at Nebraska. I just feel like that's probably the place you want to be, because if you walk into Penn State right now, you better win immediately. You better, you can't do what you've done at Nebraska the first 3 years. This is not a build. This is a takeover, turn the keys and go. And that's the problem. It's very hard to find that right person, because I was trying to find an accurate comparison to the James Franklin firing in college football history. There's only one. It's Mark Richt at Georgia. And when Mark Richt got fired at Georgia, Georgia hired Kirby Smart. The question is there a Kirby Smart out there? And I don't know if there is. Now, there probably is, a guy who's a coordinator somewhere. Remember, Kirby Smart was the defensive coordinator at Alabama. But we don't know that. And so I think Penn State's going to take big swings. I think they're going to look at sitting head coaches. But somebody was joking with me the other day, and they said, "Do you think the world's ready for Penn State head coach Manny Diaz?" Manny Diaz is the head coach at Duke, and I just laughed and I said, "Well, the last time somebody hired the Duke head coach who used to be their defensive coordinator, it worked out pretty well, because that's exactly what Texas A&M did, and Texas A&M's now sitting atop the SEC." So I think Penn State's going to cast a wide net. I think they will take big swings. I think there will be sitting head coaches in good jobs that we find out that they're going after, and we had no idea that the people were even thinking about leaving. But I will give you one other name, and it's someone who it's hard to sell right now because his team is not doing that well against a tough schedule. But Fran Brown at Syracuse. Mm-hmm. Fran Brown's a Jersey guy. He won 9 games in his first season as a head coach at Syracuse. They're dealing with the toughest schedule in the ACC right now. But if you put that guy at Penn State, he will have a roster that looks like Ohio State's roster very, very quickly.
Wow, that's high praise for Andy Staples, who's joining us from On3. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I thought you were talking about Spurrier from Duke at first, former Duke coach. Yeah,
that worked out well for Florida too, though.
Yeah. Sorry, Meg.
No, that's okay. I was just thinking, is there even somebody from the NFL ranks or somebody like Cliff Kingsbury, who was in college, now in the NFL, sees one of these juicy openings and says, I want to get back in? Andy, Perloff and I we've been kicking around these questions that are really, really hard to answer. So let's give them to you, because maybe you'll have a better idea. We were asking who's a real threat to Ohio State as far as great teams in the country, but maybe we need to back that up. Is Ohio State the best team in the country? And maybe your answer to that, and then who is the best team? And then I'll ask you another question that was kicking around in the press box at Rutgers, Oregon the other day, but go ahead.
So Ohio State looks like the best team in the country. They look like the most complete team, really good on defense. They absolutely smother you. And then you see Julian Sayin growing into the job as a redshirt freshman starting quarterback. Obviously, it helps when you can throw to Jeremiah Smith and Cornell Tate, but they look very complete. Who's the most dangerous to them in the Big Ten? It's Indiana. Indiana is for real. They are awesome. Now, the problem with the Big Ten schedule is there's still quite a bit of chum at the bottom of the Big Ten. And so Ohio State and Indiana don't have a lot to challenge them remaining. Ohio State's got Michigan at the end of the year. Indiana's kind of already been through the hardest part, except for a Penn State game that now doesn't look so challenging. So that's the issue that they have is can they stay sharp as they go through this? Alabama's the one that you want a team that'll come into the playoff battle tested. We wrote them off after they lost to Florida State. The last 4 games where they've beaten Georgia, they've beaten Vanderbilt, they've beaten Missouri, and they've beaten Tennessee. 3 of those teams, maybe all of those teams, will be in the playoff mix in November. At least one of those teams is going to make the playoff. I'd say maybe two of those teams make the playoff. They've beaten them all in a row, and that's pretty amazing. Because it's pretty hard to do. That's my question about Alabama was, how do you keep getting up for this? How do you deal with the cumulative effects? But it almost feels like they've gotten better as that stretch has gone on. So I think Alabama would be the one that's the biggest threat to those. But Ohio State probably looks like the most complete group.
One other question for you. So I happened to be at the Rutgers, Oregon game, full disclosure, for the first half. And there were a lot of NFL scouts. Yeah, I mean, it was like 43-3 at halftime. But there were a lot of NFL scouts there and some NFL GMs and stuff like that. And I kind of tried to do a little straw poll of the room of who's the best quarterback in college football. And I got not a lot of good response. Like, I got a lot of eye rolls and a lot of maybe there's nobody. So Fernando Mendoza is obviously the Heisman favorite right now and the favorite to go number 1 overall. But his name was not really one that came up as far as like this greatness. Who do you think is the best quarterback in college football?
Well, there are no quarterbacks who are going to excite the NFL GMs right now. This is that person's not really there. But Ty Simpson's the best quarterback in college football right now. It's not really even close. I mean, you've seen Alabama play. What he's done on 3rd and 4th downs in these high leverage games and high leverage moments, he's been the best quarterback this season by far. So there's other ones like Diego Pavia at Vanderbilt. It has been fantastic. But again, an NFL GM is not going to look at Diego Pavia and go, that's my guy. He's going to go, keep suing the NCAA and try to play college football till you're 35, son. So that's what's it's a strange deal because these NFL guys are like, they want Lenora Sellers at South Carolina to be really good. But he's having a terrible season. Now, partially is his offensive line's not very good, but he's not helping either. DJ Lagway at Florida, who has all the tools, who wouldn't even be eligible for this draft, but he's not having a good season. So I think that's the issue is you have all these guys, the ones the NFL guys would love, the Arch Mannings, the DJ Lagways, the Lenora Sellers, they're just not getting it done. The one guy who I think is getting it done and is somebody that they would like is Garrett Nussmeier at LSU. Now, they can't run the ball. Their defense kind of let them down against Vanderbilt this past week. But Nussmeier, playing through injuries, has still been pretty effective, and that guy is a warrior. And when he is fully healthy, he makes NFL throws. So that's the one. If you said, okay, who of this bunch could be an NFL starting quarterback next year and be semi-effective? Garrett Nussmeier is the one I'd guess. I still think I think Ty Simpson's going to be an NFL quarterback too. He's got the size and the athleticism and the arm, but it's slim pickings. Like, if you are a desperate team that needs a quarterback next
The Chiefs come on a flip pass to Rice. Near side. Touchdown! Kansas City! A 2-yard flip pass to Rice.
Yeah, Chiefs win a squeaker against the Raiders 31-10.
when Gardner Minshew got in the game with like plenty
Wait, did
of
you
time
say
left.
31-10?
31. Sorry, 30-0. I was giving
Yeah.
him 10 mercy points. I don't know why I said that.
I tweeted this out. The numbers are incredible. How bad the Raiders. This is the most lopsided game statistically of all time. Like they had like 35 yards in the game.
I don't ever remember seeing them on red zone with the Raiders having the ball.
Well, they were 0 for 8 on 3rd and 4th down. It was they were showing that, Maggie. I'm sorry. Like this was the low point, believe it or not, in a season of lows.
Are you guys had Gardner Minshew got in the game? He's still in the league?
He
would be
fine.
QB1 for the Jets these days.
Yeah, he's a high-end backup.
Okay, this is the stat that blew my mind because I've watched some really bad football. We all have with our teams at certain various times.
Or all the time.
Or all the time, in EJ's point, because he's a Jets fan. The Raiders had 3 first downs in the game.
Ooh.
3.
Is that bad?
Not like in the first half or in the first quarter.
In the entire 60 minutes?
3 first downs in the game. It's the fewest in the NFL since the Raiders had 3. Week 9, a loss to the Falcons, 2008.
I mean, Aaron Glenn aside,
that Jamarcus Russell?
Pete Carroll might be the worst hire of this cycle.
But by the way, you know how many first downs the Chiefs had? 30.
Yeah. 21 in the first half.
30.
And you look at the
21
way
first
they
downs.
approach the offseason, they're kind of like win now. They bring in Pete Carroll. They draft a running back in the first round, and it's been a disaster.
Top 10.
Yeah.
Almost had him.
So close.
Pete Carroll,
How
though,
did they beat the Titans?
You can't give Pete Carroll the worst coach because he's the Raiders coach. Who's done anything since 2001? I mean, what are you supposed to do with that franchise?
You got to get a young guy or a coordinator, somebody that can maybe build something, not somebody you're trying to win now with. You got a 70-something-year-old head coach in a team that's going nowhere. You're going to have to rebuild and get a young coach now anyway, so why didn't you just start fresh before that?
Oh, okay. Did you say worst hire or doing the worst job? Because
Worst
that's
hire,
what.
you
Okay,
said.
worst.
Hire.
Oh, the worst match. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But you can't. I don't blame Pete Carroll for not turning this around. The
I agree
roster
with that.
stinks.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's just the hire just didn't make sense now that you know what the team's going to be.
Yep.
CeeDee Lamb back for the Cowboys yesterday, 5 for 110, including a 74-yard touchdown catch. Dallas doubled up Washington 44-22, which was not a scoregami. I thought that would have been one of them, but
Also a close game.
Yeah, another squeaker there. As for right now, 7:37 Eastern time, Mike McDaniel is still the Dolphins head coach.
I think he did everything to lose the game.
Broncos, first team in NFL history to score 33 points in the fourth quarter after not scoring in the first 3 quarters. Broncos
False.
beat the Giants.
Great morning. Let's go.
33-32, and one of the. I watched that game from start to finish. I still don't know how the Giants lost that game. Very, very odd.
It was crazy. I mean, it
That
started.
was a miserable experience.
Yeah, it was. I mean, for the Giants fans, for Denver, it was exhilarating. But it started with the Dart interception. That's what cracked the door open.
Yeah.
And then it was just like a folly from there.
But it was like the Broncos were almost handing the Giants the game. You know, the pass interference, as you mentioned before, Sean Payton getting the penalty for arguing on the field.
There was a lot of controversial going for it on 4th down in the red zone, and Peyton fell victim to that. I mean, the Jags gave away the entire game by how many 4th downs did they miss?
Oh, yeah. Actually,
But
Kurt
then-
Warner was like railing against. He's
Yeah, it
like,
was
why
terrible.
don't
Another
you kick the
close
field
game.
goal? It would have
But-
been 21-9 as opposed to 21-3 or whatever.
Sean Payton did it too, and they didn't even come close to converting on that. Like sometimes you have to take the points. Anyway, Payton did not have a good game until the 3rd quarter. I thought until the 4th quarter. Sorry.
Yeah, no, 3rd quarter was still miserable.
How's this first stat? Postseason baseball history: teams playing any winner-take-all game in their home ballpark, 68-67.
Oof.
Including 30
Wow.
and 29 in the best of 7 series. So that comes into play tonight because, of course, Toronto won last night 6-2 over the Mariners, forcing a Game 7 of the ALCS, which comes up tonight.
Who does Rob Manfred want to win this? As if you were doing like the ratings thing. Obviously, you have the Dodgers.
Blue Jays.
Yeah, I think the Blue Jays. They have a little
Jays.
bit more.
Huh.
They got the star player in Vlad Guerrero, who's having the big postseason.
Yeah, but Cal Raleigh's a big star.
Is he, though?
He
was a big story this year. I don't know if he's a big star.
Yeah.
Well, also Vlad, Dad's a Hall of Famer. Like,
Yeah.
even if you know,
he
there's
is?
been a Vlad Guerrero that's been in our life for 25 years.
I guess it makes more sense to go East Coast, West Coast too. But
And all
Yeah.
we're counting everyone in Canada,
Yeah,
yes?
whole country.
Got to go whole country there.
Over
I
the
mean-
Pacific Northwest.
Go ahead.
I know it's hockey season. I get it.
Go ahead.
yeah,
But
yeah. I
they're
mean, like, are we
big.
talking?
This would be the slump buster. Oh, guys, the
Oh,
Maggie
God.
2025 year, the drought buster,
Which one?
slump buster.
Blue Jays got real fans.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So do the Mariners, though.
No,
Which
no,
one
no,
is
I'm
the
just saying,
draft?
like, it's not like, oh, like they're just like a forget about them team.
No,
Like,
no. The people in
Yeah.
Toronto are behind the Blue Jays.
Definitely.
I'm totally with you on that.
So
Jays haven't won the World Series since '94. That's the slump.
It's a huge slump. Mariners never won. I think it also
so is
applies.
does that count? Are we counting the Mariners?
I
don't think we
counted
should.
Oklahoma
No.
City, so yes, I will also count.
Can
them.
I give you some sobering facts about the Blue Jays, what they bring to the TV audience?
I don't like being sober, but go ahead.
There are 41 million people in Canada. 41 million people probably watched Cowboys Commanders yesterday. So I do not know if the Canadian market is the game changer. Also, I'm not sure if the ratings in Canada count for American ratings for the advertisers.
Text Jimmy Traina.
Yeah, no, because I think in Canada,
Richard
it's all,
Deitch
it's
lives
like,
in Toronto.
they don't do it by North America? I thought that's how they do the
Do
ratings.
they? I mean, there's like 3 out of 4 ads are for Tim Hortons up there.
Oh, delicious. And this little
They
double
have
double
Tim
in the
Hortons
morning.
down here. We got in New York City. We have Tim Hortons.
It's still advertising for a big. Well, it's on national TV too, so it doesn't even matter, right? Like I assume. Well, I don't know. I guess they get it on Sportsnet.
I have no idea, actually. I have they BBC in Canada too, right?
Yeah, I think these games have been on Sportsnet.
It is, it's on Sportsnet.
Yeah, so I guess Sportsnet, but I'm sure they got to deal with MLB.
And the World Series will be a Sportsnet production if the Blue Jays do win Game 7.
But do they don't use the Fox broadcasters? Or they do?
No,
they use the Sportsnet. Yeah, this is new. I read about this last night for whatever reason. This is rather new. It used to be the international feed or the North America or the United States feed, but now they have their own Canadian production.
Totally, regardless of the fact that the Blue Jays are advancing. It has nothing to do with that.
No, yes, it has. It has everything to do with the fact that the Blue Jays are advancing.
Yeah, it's a much nicer version than the American version. They're like, oh, sorry about that on the.
I was watching one call. I'm like, you guys are clearly rooting for the Blue Jays, man.
Well, that's okay.
Oh,
I get it, but I'm like, this is supposed to be just.
What do you expect?
It was insane though. You're just, we're just doing the ALCS. I'm like, all right, Buck Martinez, relax a little bit.
I love Buck Martinez.
Dan
That
Shulman?
hair.
We got Dan Shulman on that call. He's Canadian.
I think Shulman, he did some games too during the playoffs.
Yeah, he's Toronto.
Coming up next on Sportsnet, Sports Centre. Why do they add an E to Sports Center?
Hey, let them live, Manny.
Why
I
do they
mean, don't yuck their yums.
They throw E's in there. They throw O's in there. It's a messed up English. It's not the right English.
We should say Seattle being in the World Series would be incredibly awesome too. That would be amazing.
I don't think we have a rooting interest here. Like, we just want to see great baseball and maybe watch somebody beat the Dodgers. Like, we have a villain that's not just the Yankees anymore, which is, I think, good for baseball.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Dave Roberts being like, oh, we're just going to win another one and make all you people mad again. I'm like, all right, bro. You were managing the best team, like, ever. Like, relax.
It was the deferred money. As soon as they did the deferred money, I was like, this team can just, this is now the villain team.
Oh, so I'm the only one on the Dodgers bandwagon this World
No,
Series?
everyone knows Dodgers are my second team.
Oh,
everybody knows
Everyone
that.
knows
Everyone, yeah. That's
I mean, who doesn't love
documented.
Mookie Betts is awesome. I don't care if you call them the Evil Empire Part 2. You have to like Mookie Betts.
Poll question. Are you rooting for the Dodgers? 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Gordon, thank you so much. Coming up, here's a little game we like to play. Did the right team win? It's the Maggie Perloff Show.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Yeah, I'm super talented. I'm Mookie Betts.
I could bowl.
I can play the outfield and shortstop.
I happen to know that about him, which is why I don't like him.
Tough morning? We got you. It's Maggie and Perloff.
Can I just say I would let Mookie Betts operate on me? I have so much faith. He is a Renaissance man. Nobody emits more positive energy than Mookie Betts. Nobody.
I know, but we're asking on the Dodgers, like, are you rooting for the Dodgers? Like, we have another villain now in baseball that's not the Yankees. I think this is actually very good for baseball, and I think many people are rooting against the Dodgers.
Maybe. It's kind of, but they're closer to the Kansas City Chiefs, so it's just fatigue of them being that good. I don't think they're the evil empire because of all the money. Like, I knew other people might think, but how can you love the Shohei story? And we all love Betts, and a lot of people love Freddie Freeman. It's not like the Yankees for some reason.
Listen, this is a lot of why do you like sports? Do you like sports, and why do you follow sports? To watch performances like Shohei Ohtani on Friday night, absolutely. 6 shutout innings, 10 Ks, 3 home runs. It's amazing. You can't believe what you're watching. But then there's some of us who get really into the weeds on this stuff, and I hated the deferred money. Just hated it.
Oh,
and
come
so
on.
Part of that made them feel like they were cheating.
You literally sat there and said, I hate this deferred money.
We were on the air. I did not like it.
Oh, yeah, nobody liked that, Pearl. Come on.
It's no bueno for baseball.
But anyway, so what
really?
we're talking about...
But you guys are all New York fans. I think the rest of the country, because you guys want to outspend them the real way.
Yeah, and I understand why teams hate the teams that outspend. That's why people hate the New York teams. Like, I get that. So you have to expect the backlash. if you're the Dodgers. Anyway, the reason why we're talking about baseball is because you got a Game 7 tonight in the ALCS. It's all come down to this, the Blue Jays and the Mariners, and we were a little tripped up in the last segment about how people are watching the game in Canada. Okay, so Ray is calling from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Ray, enlighten us,
Well done,
sir.
yeah.
How you doing?
Good morning. I'm great. I don't know if you guys recall. We're about 8 hours. I'm about 8 hours north of Bismarck, North Dakota. So it's an 8-hour drive straight north to where I am.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Ray. That is the capital of North Dakota.
Yes, absolutely. And so, that's how far north we are. So I'm about 2,000 miles probably west of Toronto. And I can tell you guys, the whole country's in. So 40 million people up here. We are all in. And you were talking about the American and Canadian broadcasts. Yeah, we get, and we're pretty pumped about it because all year we see Dan Schulman and Buck Martinez and Hazel May and the Sportsnet crew, and we do get them. And this, you're right, this has never happened before. So that is kind of neat. So I don't know the answer to your question about does it go to American ratings? I don't know, but right. I know fans in Canada are pretty excited about that. The other thing too is that there are 3 Sportsnet radio stations, one in Toronto, one in Vancouver, and one in Calgary. And your show is picked up by all 3 of those stations.
Oh boy! Oh man! I hope I. Hey Ray,
we're huge in Saskatoon. We can't walk down the street.
Ray, in Vancouver, who are they rooting for though? Are they Mariners fans?
No. If you go to a Seattle game, there's lots of Canadians who go down and watch the Mariners. But when the Blue Jays play, it is probably you'll see a lot of Blue Jays fans in the Seattle stands. Maybe not as much in light of political things that are going on, but normally there are a ton of Blue Jay fans whenever Toronto plays Seattle on the coast. Even in the regular season, there's a ton of Blue Jay gear in Seattle for sure.
Well, Ray, say hi to everybody at the Beaver Creek Conservation Area for us and the Saskatoon Forestry Farm Park and Zoo. We know we are massive up in Saskatoon, so thank you for that. This would be great for baseball. I mean, if you're just talking about viewers, to have all of Canada dialed in, that's phenomenal.
I mean, I have some, obviously some flashbacks, some issues.
Yeah, no, you've got issues, the Blue Jays.
Yeah, the Blue Jays, because like, where is the Joe Carter home run ball? Did anyone ever find it? No, but that's a great song. That was, you guys probably don't know that team. That Blue Jays team was awesome.
It was loaded.
Paul Molitor and on down. It was, and Joe Carter. It was a great team. It's kind of like this. Not quite. I mean, this team, Toronto, you can't help. We're talking about the evil empire. You can't help but love Toronto and Seattle.
It's
all these like kind of journeymen stepping up. It's amazing.
I'm good.
Well, that's because they beat your team's butt.
Well, okay, so I got some bias. So, I mean, that's part of sports, ain't that right?
Here's the thing. Don't you also want to see the team that beat you go on and win the World Series?
No, never.
I'm in that boat. Phillies lost to Dodgers. I want to see the Dodgers win to prove the Phillies are the second best team.
No, you beat us. Congratulations. Where's your ring?
Rest in peace to all my ops.
But the only way you can help the legacy of your team is if the team that beat you goes on to win.
Yeah,
I'm a Yankee fan.
Nobody was beating the Blue Jays. It was their year.
I'm a Yankee fan. What much more legacy do I need for my franchise?
Wait, guys, did you just hear what Ray said? We're on 3 different radio stations.
What an accent that guy has,
and also, we should be doing a remote show in Saskatoon.
Little does Ray know that you spend like 25 seconds trying to pronounce Saskatoon, Saskatchewan correctly.
He didn't say there's 3 radio stations in Saskatoon. He said in Calgary, Toronto, and somewhere else.
Vancouver.
Oh, right. Yeah, we're huge in Canada. Why are we not in Canada?
We don't need to just be in Saskatoon. We could do a whole tour, Maggie. That's what I'm saying.
We should have thought of this in the summer.
Manitoba?
Darn it. Hello, Canada. Is that what he said?
You're in a 5-minute break. 45 seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Time expires. He just got the snap off. Flushed out by Odigizua. And he's going to be almost hit by Clark. Throws it away. It's intercepted. He threw up a duck. Here comes Bland down the sideline. It's a pick six. It's a pick six. The first touch of a ball by a Cowboys quarterback this year.
Thank you to the Cowboys Radio Network. And yeah, the defense came to play, and feels like it's the first time we're saying that about the Dallas Cowboys. They beat the Washington Commanders yesterday, Pearl, and the offense clearly gets an even bigger boost now with CeeDee Lamb back in the lineup. And when the defense shows up, knock Jaden Daniels out of the game. Marcus Mariota threw that pick six as the backup quarterback. Yeah, Dallas looks like a playoff team if they can play like this.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing about Dallas is we didn't think Pickens and Lamb could play together because we didn't see it at first. And now that they have both of them, and yesterday they were both amazing. They both almost got to 100 before half. They were working together very well. So now we have a full, legitimate number two threat where it was CeeDee Lamb or nothing. Even when they were winning games, it was too reliant on CeeDee Lamb. I feel like this is a different Dallas offense. The question is, as you know, the defense.
Yeah, so they had not just Deron Bland, but we're used to him, with the pick sixes. That's like kind of what he became famous for. But I thought what was most surprising, maybe encouraging, is you had guys like Kyer Elam, who had been terrible, was a Bills cast-off. I know, only allowed 2 receptions on 7 targets for 31 yards, after allowing 0 receptions since week 5. Like, means maybe guys are getting it, right? Maybe there could have been a turnaround. Maybe Matt Eberflus just did need a little bit of time with these guys. Now, listen.
I mean, that all sounds great, but the Commanders are limping into that game.
Okay, well, then you got to factor in the opponent. I totally understand that. Obviously, the injury bug on the Commanders' offense has gotten to a point where it's a full-out 5-alarm fire. Terry McLaurin out, Deebo Samuel, Noah Brown, and then Jaden Daniels leaving the game in what looked like he was in excruciating pain a knee issue, and then he has to limp off the field and goes into the medical tent and then goes into the locker room, never to return. So to me, yeah, it was a little about the opponent, but if you're asking, are the Dallas Cowboys a playoff team? Well, yeah, if the defense can actually hold their own even slightly, we are looking at easily one of the best offenses in the NFL, if not the best.
Well, here's the problem with Dallas. I mean, you're right. The offense is great. The schedule gets way harder on the back end. They actually lost to Carolina, but they beat the Jets. They had that miraculous tie against the Packers. They beat the Giants. So we do not really know how they are against. They have a stretch of Philly, KC, Detroit. That is hard. And then Minnesota, Chargers, Commanders, and Giants. It's going to be tough. The NFC playoff picture is muddled. I don't know. I would take a bet against them making the playoffs right now. 3-1. The odds are sort of, you're at about 50-50 right now. I would take a bet against them, even though I think Dak Prescott's playing absolutely the best football of his life. He is blowing away. Even 2 years ago when he had that near MVP season, his numbers are way better. He has the highest QBR he's ever had, highest passer rating he's ever had. He is seeing the field really well. Missed a couple yesterday, but he is great. The question is, will the defense hold up against tougher opponents?
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, Detroit's defense is all banged up, and you're going to run into some opponents that are obviously not at full strength, just like they did with the Commanders. And if the defense can just be a bit better, again, this offense is really something. And Tom Brady was talking about it yesterday, about the real winners need to be able to pass the ball. I'm like, all right. I mean, I always thought it was about running the ball. But then again, he's Tom Brady and I'm not. So here's Jerry Jones yesterday crediting Brian Schottenheimer for spending more time with embattled defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus during the week to make those adjustments.
Credit goes to head coach who spent a lot of time on that side of the ball this week, along with Flus, and make an adjustment. Certainly gives us a lot of hope as we look to the future as to how this defense can play as we evolve.
Okay, listen, it's as painful to me as it is anyone to do a Jerry was right thing. Nobody wants to do Jerry was right because Jerry's been so wrong for a while that it can be painful to admit this. But I think there's a couple things. One, last week, what was the storyline? Matt Eberflus needs to be fired, right? He is the defensive coordinator. They lost to the Carolina Panthers. He's got to go. Jerry said, hold on, be patient. We think he can be a lot better. They were today. Again, backup quarterback offense sucks for the Commanders right now. But then what else? Hiring Brian Schottenheimer. I don't know, Pearl. Maybe they're a playoff team, maybe they're not. But Brian Schottenheimer has not been a complete and utter embarrassment. We thought it was weird when they didn't basically interview anybody to be the head coach, almost like they were caught off guard that Mike McCarthy is not their coach anymore, like it was a contract stare down. Micah Parsons was phenomenal yesterday for Green Bay when they played the Arizona Cardinals. So that trade continues to look bad, but I got to give Jerry some credit. Maybe Schottenheimer really does have a future in this league. And, at least sticking with Eberflus helped for 1 week. We'll see how they do next week against Denver.
I feel like you're caught in the moment a little bit on this shoddy thing. You
don't think they can beat the Denver Broncos? Giants should have beat the Broncos yesterday.
They could beat anybody. But, yeah, I'm not saying that, but I just feel like 3-1 to a crown. Was the bar to not be a horrible embarrassment?
Yes.
This is a team it's like kind of the core of a team. Dak Prescott's won almost 70% of his games as an NFL quarterback. You probably should win a bunch of games with Dak. I'm telling you, there's a lot TBD on this season. I really think you're getting ahead on this Schottenheimer thing. We'll see. I'm definitely at a we'll see. Denver looks terrible. You're right. They could definitely win this game. But if they lose this game, we're going to be back to fire Eberflus, fire Eberflus. That could come back any second. And then they have a really hard game against Arizona because Arizona will lead any team with 2 minutes left in the game and lose that game. But this might be the game where Jonathan Gannon figures out the last 2 minutes of a game. Who knows? There is a lot could happen with the Cowboys.
That was a crazy game yesterday between the Cardinals and the Packers because every game with Arizona turns out to be a crazy game. I'm not sure how Green Bay didn't win that game by more. I don't understand it. You can weigh in on the Cowboys. EJ, if you can put up a poll question for us, do the Cowboys look like a playoff team? At Maggie and Pearl, you can call us at 888-710-4ISN. Now, we did ask a kind of toss-up question out there for you because we saw a lot of great things this weekend. What was the best game of the weekend? And you can go back to Friday night with Shohei Ohtani, 6 shutout innings, 10 Ks, 3 home runs in a closeout game, Dodgers-Brewers. Dodgers move on to the World Series. They'll await the winner of Game 7 tonight between the Mariners and the Blue Jays. You've got Louisville going into Miami and baiting Carson Beck into 4 interceptions. You can talk about Alabama beating Tennessee. Maybe you like Vanderbilt beating LSU. Maybe you're more about what happened yesterday in the fourth quarter between the Denver Broncos and the New York Giants, which was just mayhem. Broncos end up winning a game they had no business winning.
Yeah. By the way, can I point out Carson Beck actually threw 5 interceptions and they took one back for roughing? But that's not the point. EJ has a stat about the Cardinals that blew my mind before the show. That was a great game, too. I think the Packers-Cardinals game was just as exciting as any other game. EJ, what was it about the Cards?
So there's 2 here. So one being that the Cardinals have become the first team in NFL history to lose 3 straight games after leading by 7+ points entering the fourth quarter. And then there's another stat also that the Cardinals have lost 5 straight games while leading or tied in the fourth with 5 minutes remaining or fewer.
Oh my gosh, that is painful.
They're actually a pretty good team. And one thing, like, they can't put Kyler Murray back in. Jacoby Brissett is playing better football right now.
No doubt. Not even close. The offense runs. I just don't understand why the Green Bay defense, right, which was this awesome defense. And again, Micah Parsons was great yesterday. He had 3 sacks. But how are they letting Trey McBride, of all people, get loose? Like, who else is catching passes on this team? You've got to make sure you have eyes on Trey McBride at all times, and he had 2 touchdowns yesterday where he was wide open.
All right, that is true, but other teams lose Trey McBride to it. I'm always wondering, like, who's going to beat you if not Trey McBride? He's fantastic. Cardinals are a good team. It's bizarre that they can't win these games, and I don't know if Jonathan Gannon survives this, but they're actually a pretty salty team despite some injuries. Jacoby Brissett was awesome. I mean, awesome in a sort of second chance journeyman kind of way. He was really good for the Cardinals.
Yeah, he runs the offense, Like Kyler, I don't know what that is. A lot of improv. Let's go to the phones. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. What was the game of the weekend? Richie's in Queens, New York. I have a feeling where you're going with this one, Richie.
Maggie, it's great to talk to you. It's been a couple of years, and I've been meaning to get a hold of you. And Andrew, you guys got a good show, and really appreciate that you got me on.
Thanks, Richie.
Yeah, with the evil empire, Andrew, I don't see how you don't see. And Maggie, I'm a big San Francisco Giant fan, so obviously I'm up against it with them. But for them to do what they're doing, to deferred contract, getting Snell, I figured they couldn't sign Teoscar Hernandez. They signed him. They bring in the world. And I understand it's the way of the world now. Money does talk, and you've got to accept the salaries. Otherwise, media old guy in the balcony, you never watch games. But it's extreme. But they are winning. Give them credit, because for a few years they were getting a lot of grief because they weren't winning. The Giant game last night, guys. Look, I want to take something positive out of it. Big Giant fan. It's very difficult to do that when you give up 33 points in a quarter. Dart looks like the real thing. I thought that was going to be the savior for Dable. I really thought that him and Shane were on the fence as far as being fired, but now they've got something to work for. But Tiki Barber was insane, thinking he should have never thrown the pass. My feeling is I've seen more egregious errors in that, mistakes.
Yeah, the interception that Dart threw. Yeah, it kind of cracked the door back open for the Broncos. Yep.
His logic, Mag, was let them run the ball. Maybe you do get a first down. If not, let them use their last time out. There's 5 minutes to go. You get the ball back. And, they're going to have to drive the field. Maybe you get it back. You get a first down. It's over. But, it's 5 minutes to go. It's not the worst thing in the world. It was obviously a bad interception. But too many chunk plays, too many quick plays. Take 10 seconds off here, another 20 seconds to score. It doesn't come down to kicking a field goal with 2 seconds to go.
Yeah, Richie,
I have never seen that.
This is a painful one. Great to talk to you. Thank you so much for checking in. Painful on so many levels for the Giants and for the Broncos. You have to be looking around after this and saying, how did we win this game? I mean, at one point, you had a penalty, defensive pass interference that gave the Giants a late score, and Sean Payton is so incensed, he comes out onto the field and he gets a personal foul. Like, that's when you know your team is completely unraveling, and somehow they regrouped and were able to take advantage of some Giants defensive miscues, including Brian Burns, the standout defensive end for the Giants, who got caught walking in the locker room saying, why do we drop 8 in coverage? I mean, he was incensed. And also, you have a kicker. Think about this, right? We led off the segment with the Cowboys, right? Yeah, Brandon Aubrey kicks a 61-yarder yesterday. And actually, he wasn't the only one. Someone else nailed a 61-yarder yesterday, too.
Packers, I think?
Was it the Packers?
Yeah.
It might have
Packers.
been. Okay.
Yeah.
61-yarders, right? The kicking game has never been more of a weapon than it is in today's NFL, the 2025 NFL. And the dumb Giants are the only team in the NFL, it seems, who have no kicking game. The dude missed 2 PATs yesterday, okay? And it kind of sunk him.
Ah, damn it.
I mean, this has been a theme now. If I were going to fire Joe Shane, the general manager, I get you took a swing and you got Jackson Dart, and that's fine. I'd almost fire him off of not having a kicker. You had Graham Gano, Pearl, and he's been hurt. Well, you know what? Kickers get hurt all the time.
Especially that one.
Oh, God.
Especially that one. You have to have a better backup than a dude who lost his job as a senior at Rutgers University.
Like, yeah, I mean, they do. They have Young Wei Koo just toiling away on the practice
squad. He might be hurt.
Then find another one.
I know, Manny.
Can it be?
Pearl,
You're a general manager.
That feels fireable, and this is not the first time the lack of a kicking game has really hurt the Giants. You're in Mile High Stadium, for goodness sakes.
Can I just say, this is WFAN Maggie, New York Radio Maggie.
Yeah,
I just complained about the Giants depth chart and firing the GM and yelling kind of over something that nobody else outside of New York would ever care about.
Did you watch that game,
years.
But did you watch that game yesterday? And the guy missed the PAT, 2 PATs.
Yeah. Obviously.
It's
they cut him, I assume, today.
Not yet. He is not in Ireland yet here at 8:13.
Can I say one thing to what Richie was saying? I mean, it is Jackson Dart's 5th game. Like, the interception that you're referencing, he's got to make mistakes. He's a young quarterback. You can't kill him. I think you're so excited about this guy, right?
Definitely. It's the only silver lining.
Oh, yeah, he's him.
Yeah. They love him.
I mean, the other thing is 5 games in, once the defensive coordinators get tape on him, then we'll see. Is
Listen, he made that athletic play at the goal line to score that touchdown.
The athletic tools are clearly there.
He's running. Yeah.
Yeah, he made some throws yesterday. Yes, he had a couple that should have been picked, but he made some throws that were like, whoa, that's not a normal quarterback. He has an arm, no question. Was that the game of the year yesterday? That's what Perloff said.
So far, I mean, your Bills-Ravens game was pretty awesome, too.
I kind of still like last week's game, right?
Which one was it?
That was we were just talking about it. Why can't I remember now?
College or pro?
It was NFL. It was a big game last week.
You know what game was great, by the way? The Packers-Cardinals was great because the Packers went for it on 4th down, and the announcer's like, you cannot go for it on 4th down here. Take the points. And Matt LaFleur, uncharacteristically aggressive play, won that game.
Yeah, but how about they actually sent the kicking team out there and then sent him back out?
Yeah.
It was like a dance.
I like it. I disagree. So, full disclosure, I picked the Packers to go to the Super Bowl, and I'm kind of convincing myself that they're legit. I think that I came away actually impressed with the Cardinals.
Jags Chiefs. Sorry, that's the game I'm thinking about. Jags Chiefs 2 weeks ago.
Jags Chiefs.
Trevor Lawrence almost
the
fell.
fumble and
that was the game of the year?
That game was great.
I think it had the Jags in it.
I already forgot about that game.
Who cares about that?
I don't know, because it feels like
the Giants.
Anytime the Jags play, it still feels like it's in Tottenham Spurs Stadium. I don't know.
Yeah, by the way, so much for the home field advantage for them.
Hey, remember Travis Hunter? He scored a touchdown yesterday. How about that?
You know, they can throw to him in the first half, too.
Oh, they can?
I don't know. Maybe it's different laws over there.
I was actually thinking, my takeaway from that game was, man, I wish Devontae Adams was on my team. That guy's still got a lot of juice left.
Also, Packers-Cowboys 40-40 tie was great, too.
But it's a tie.
Yeah.
But still, that was a barn burner.
No, but you know what, though? The historical precedent, there's never been anything like this Giants-Broncos game. Never.
Game of the year was on Thursday night, guys. The 40-year-old against the 40-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was the game.
Rodgers v. Flacco.
Yeah, that was a good game.
By the way,
a hell of a game.
We got a little Packers versus Rodgers next week.
Oh, I can't wait on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
Tirico and the gang.
I'd rather see... I mean, yeah, we already had Jets, Rodgers. I don't remember what happened with that one. That was a good game. But
I think the Steelers won because the Jets
That's the only
don't
good
have
game
a
the
win.
Jets played this year. The Jets should have won that game until the guy fumbled the kick return.
Feels like we're going to have a game of the year every week.
Well, this one was particularly interesting.
This was not.
Denver quarterback Bo Nix goes 16 for 25 for 170 yards and 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. They're the first team in history to score 33 or more points after being shut out through the first 3 quarters. Does that constitute the game of the year? I'm still going to give it to Shohei. I think Shohei on Friday night
game of the weekend,
still takes the game.
Can it be the game of the NFL year and still be the second best game of the weekend? Possible.
I think that Shohei's game was the game of the year.
No, I meant NFL game of the
Yeah.
year. Yeah.
Just period. 2025.
I think it had to be close. I think it had to be a closer game to do that.
What he did, we're never going to see it again.
It was the best individual performance of the year, but game of the year, no, the game itself was kind of terrible. He was great. I don't know. Is Kobe Bryant's 81 points the game of the year in the NBA that
was
year?
crazy. Yeah.
But I don't like the Lakers won by like 18 points. Like, I don't know you can say that's the game of the year. I think you say that was a great individual game of the year.
18 points is a close game nowadays.
That's true. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Asking you a couple questions. Who was the game of the weekend? And now maybe who was the game of the year? So much more to do, including that can be, by the way, baseball, college football, the NFL. We've got the MP500 coming your way next. Whose stock is up? Whose stock is down after a huge weekend?
All right, Maggie, I'm hot on Prize Picks, and that's why I'm in a good mood today. My mood does depend a little bit on Prize Picks, but you always get back to it. Prize Picks tonight, you could go Baker Mayfield, 242.5 passing yards. You pick less or more on a stat projection, and if you're right, you get paid. Right now, new users get $50 in bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. So simple to use. Just pick two or more players, pick more or less on their stat projections, and you could do football, you could do baseball, you could do soccer, so many choices, and you could win big.
Okay, why don't we put that Baker Mayfield 242.5, and how about combo with Vlad Guerrero? More than a 6.5 hitter fantasy score. Blue Jays got the home field advantage. Game 7. This is exciting stuff. We're obsessed with Prize Picks, and you can be too. It's available in 40-plus states, including California, Texas, Florida, Georgia. It's all there for you on Prize Picks. Come on and play along with us. How do you do it? Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code M&P to get $50 bonus credit in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code M&P to get $50 bonus credit in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it is good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Mand P.
You're in a 4-minute break. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
The MP500 on the Infinity Sports Network.
All right, welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. Every Monday we do Stock Up, Stock Down. All right, Mag, get us started on a crazy, fun sports weekend.
Yeah, I was going to go with your Philadelphia Eagles, but I'll save that one for you.
Oh, thank you, because that's my first one.
Okay, well, we'll save that for a second. I got to give stock up to the Chicago Bears. I've been really hard on this team. Pearl, they have won 4 consecutive games in the same season for the first time since 2018. It's been a while since the Bears have strung together 4 straight wins in the same season. That happened yesterday. Bears put together, really, really impressive defensive effort against the New Orleans Saints, who had kind of been this plucky team with Spencer Rattler. He was not good yesterday outside in some weather. They forced 4 takeaways. Caleb wasn't even that great, but the run game was going and the defense had things going. That's a winning formula in a place like Chicago. So stock up the Bears.
Yeah, I'm not giving that game a lot of meaning. It just felt like kind of a mess. We'll see once Chicago gets tested against better teams. Okay, I'll tell you one team who looked dominant, on offense at least. Jalen Hurts for the Eagles, 19 for 23, 326 yards, 3 TDs. After all this criticism that the Eagles can't pass the ball, came off the field and a lot of people captured video, basically said, we're not losing again. One thing about Jalen Hurts, that dude is a winner. And I've been down on this team, and I kind of forgot that. He'll probably have games where he disappears again, but he is, I think, even I do it, underrate him as a player because he's not your traditional high-octane quarterback who's going to come out and throw for 300 yards every game. But when he needs to, he makes a play. At the end of the game, he made a massive play to seal the win. So this is about Jalen Hurts to me as a stock up.
I mean, how long was that pass in the air to A.J. Brown? 10 years? Like, that was just
And it was
perfect.
Easily completed, too.
Well, if the stock goes up, the stock goes down. Hate to pile on, but man, this Raiders thing is just an all-out disaster. I know they won last week against Tennessee, but they get shut out against the Chiefs this week. The Raiders had 3 first downs in the game. 3 in the game. Raiders. By the way, did you know this stat? That Andy Reid has never had a regular season shutout until yesterday?
I heard that during the show. Wow.
427 regular season games that he's coached, and this is the first time that he had a shutout.
Yeah, and it was relatively easy to do, too.
They shut out the Texans in 2015, but that was a postseason game. This is a regular season game. Never had a shutout.
Okay, my stock down, EJ, hold your ears. Carson Beck threw 4 interceptions in the 24-21 loss from Miami to Louisville. Then afterwards, and I'm curious what you guys think about this, he was at his press conference and he explained the last pick, which was the game sealer, He said, we have a perfect play for it, but we just had a miscommunication with the route with what we were doing. So he's basically blaming the receiver for running the wrong route. And he got a lot of criticism for that. I think maybe piling on a little bit. But he was the bad Carson Beck that we saw sometimes at Georgia. And to me, it's really stock down because this guy's stock was pretty high. He was in the Heisman race, and he was considered a potential first-round pick.
I literally have a Heisman bet on Carson Beck. My two Heisman bets that are open right now are Carson Beck and John Mateer.
Yeah, better chance with Carson Daly right now than Carson Beck.
I just hate money, and I like to burn it through a little website called DraftKings. Yeah, that was tough. I'm going to stay in the ACC for the stock going back up, Pearl. And how about Georgia Tech? Haynes King. I mentioned early in the season, how come he's not in the Heisman race? You know, right now, Yellow Jackets are they still ranked 12th?
No, they're way higher. I think they're 7. They're 7, yeah.
Inside the top 10, off to their first 7-0 start since 1966. He was 14 of 21 passing over, this was against Duke, 205 passing yards, 120 yards on 14 carries. And the game was actually tied at halftime. And then King comes out after halftime, 4 consecutive scoring drives, Pearl. I thought he's been excellent. He's super fun to watch. Haynes King, stock up. We're also busy, praising Diego Pavia, who totally deserves it because that's super fun. The Vanderbilt thing is not a fluke, but Haynes King's right there with him.
Well, I got to tell you, though, I actually studied their schedule last night. It's going to look they're probably going to have at least one loss. It's going to look pretty weak. They're still going to make it in the tournament, but their best win was Clemson, who's now not good all of a sudden, and Duke was right there with them. So I think they're a team that's found a way to win. I just don't know how really good they are. I feel like they could get like SMU last year, get into the playoff, and then disappoint. But I'll give you that. Okay. Another stock up, Christian McCaffrey, by the way. I think he took last night personally. It was the Niners against the Falcons, and Bijan Robinson was getting to be known as the great all-around back. Can catch the ball, can run the ball, was on pace for the all-time record for yards from scrimmage. But McCaffrey last night, that dude is back, and his just legs would not stop churning, which makes me think maybe your Super Bowl pick, Maggie, is alive with the Niners because they win when Christian McCaffrey is playing well. That's just the reality of this team. Everything else does not matter. McCaffrey can carry them.
The only thing is, can he keep this up?
Yeah, great question.
Okay, I don't know if this is stock down or stock up. Maybe I'll put it to the show, and you guys can say whether this is a stock up or stock down. So, College Game Day, obviously very famous for having fans bringing signs to the set, wherever they are.
The best.
The best, right? So, James Franklin, the recently fired head coach from Penn State, is up there doing the mea culpa, tearjerker kind of interview. Hey, listen, I'm hurting for my guys right now. He's saying all the right thing. And as he's really getting into the emotional part of what it was like to be let go from Penn State, there's a sign over his shoulder that says Lane Kiffin poops standing up. And it's just clear as day. And this is like Franklin, the tears in the eyes, and then you can't unsee that. And it was just so block lettering.
Seems like the perfect metaphor for James Franklin's tenure at Penn State.
But is that a stock up or a stock down for game day there for that whole situation?
Definitely stock up. That's good. But James Franklin had a week. Everyone's like, whoa, he's so good on game day. He's going to get any analyst job he wants. And now there are all these teams that are like, well, I'd take a James Franklin, like Arkansas, for example.
No, he'll get hired. That's for sure.
But I don't know if he wants to get hired because then he loses his offset, his salary. Can I just do my stock up or maybe stock down real quick? Did you guys see the headline that the thieves who stole crown jewels from the Louvre in 4 minutes? Did anybody see this burglary? Well, get ready in a year and a half when it's on Netflix. It is the craziest
they're gonna turn that around a lot quicker than a year and a half. Netflix, they're working on that right now.
In 4 minutes, they forced the window, smashed the display case, and filled these priceless Napoleonic jewels into a bag and ran out and did not get caught. It is considered the most brazen, maybe most important museum theft of all time. It happened yesterday in Paris.
But how do you move that material?
How
on the black market.
Is that how you sell it?
Russian oligarch, stuff like that.
Yeah. Is that right, Maggie?
Maggie of course she has a way.
Well, so here's my thing, though, about that. So this is a jewel theft. Mm-hmm. But is it like a heist when it's a smash and dash? Like, if I want a jewel heist, I want someone who's been casing the joint for 6 months, who had to get the band back together, of guys who just got out of prison.
Yeah, okay.
This
is not Tom Cruise, though. No, this is not.
People are calling it Ocean's 14. It's
I
so
want someone
funny.
who had to rappel down from the ceiling and get through the laser sensors.
Sounds like a GTA mission.
Yeah, this is it. Someone just broke a window.
You just threatened somebody with a sledgehammer. Yeah, so there's a different way of doing things.
There's not an art to that.
200 yards away from the Mona Lisa.
Didn't think to grab that one.
The emerald set imperial crown of Napoleon III's wife, Empress Eugenia, like the Mariners player, I guess.
Eugenio?
Yeah.
Eugenia.
Complains has 1,300 diamonds. Just, this is going to be a Netflix story. I don't know if they're going to catch these guys. Isn't that unbelievable? I guess it's easier to steal priceless jewels than we thought. You don't need a whole movie, man.
Let's attack the MoMA.
Yeah, you don't even need like a plan. It sounds like the plan is break the window, go in, put the jewels in a bag, and walk out.
Yeah. I would assume there's some videotape of these guys.
Oh, there's videotape everywhere.
Yeah,
it's about to be on Netflix.
Yeah. Netflix will have incredible footage.
Let me guess, they're wearing like a hooded sweatshirt?
Yeah. They were wearing like neon green stuff
Hmm.
as well, so they were easy to spot, but not so easy to
saw
stop.
this story?
It was a big deal.
It's video everywhere. It's like the front page of the newspaper. If you, the front page of the newspaper is actually the important stuff. It's the back page that we go to, but there's actually other stuff on the front.
One man's opinion.
Yeah. New York Post had a mile-high flub.
Oh, this is going to be great. New York Post headlines right here. Come
for
on.
the Broncos beating them. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a little MP500, little taste of whose stock is up and whose stock is down. Amazingly, MikeMcDaniel did not make it into that and still has a job, Gordon, right?
So far as we know, the update has just started. Let's see where it goes. I have no idea how to calculate quarterback rating. I don't think anybody does. But everyone knows the perfect quarterback rating is 158.3, and that's what Jalen Hurts did yesterday.
Hurts is back. Hurts looking. He's still looking. Still looking. Waving. Going down. Going for A.J. Brown. Caught at the 10. In for a touchdown. Hurts to Brown. And Brown fires it into the stands.
Yeah, 19 of 23, 326, and 3 touchdowns as the Eagles beat the Vikings 28-22. The call on Eagles radio there.
Not bad.
Yeah,
not bad, except Carson Wentz was not great in this game.
Yeah.
I know he had the picks early, but even late, he cannot find these two receivers in the red zone. Could not understand it. I know you don't want to throw another pick. I get that. You're gun shy about it. But here's the thing, at some point, Justin Jefferson needs a 50-50 ball when you're trailing like that, in my opinion.
He'd gotten hit a lot. I mean, that's my only defense, a lot. He was sort of hurting by the end. He's still better than J.J. McCarthy. That's the thing. The bar here, you're not telling me that J.J. McCarthy can go out and throw for 320 yards every day.
No chance.
So that's the issue in Minnesota.
If you did not feel like getting up early to watch the Rams and Jaguars from London, you did not miss much. Matt Stafford, 5 touchdowns. Rams crushed the Jags 35-7. Then there was Mike Vrabel's return to Tennessee, which went how you would expect, but maybe not for CBS analyst Jason McCourty.
The Patriots aren't going to go too fast. Josh McDaniel, the offensive coordinator, he has the last shot mentality. He wants to make sure they end this half with the ball.
Hey, taking a deep shot down the field. Booty is down there. Touchdown. What a catch. Kayshawn Booty.
Yeah, so much for that. That was the call on CBS. Pats won at 31-13.
Wait, to be fair, that was Jason McCourty?
Yes.
So Devin is the one who played for the Patriots forever. I think Jason only had a cup of coffee with them.
Is that right? In my mind, they were both
for a while.
Yeah,
right,
Devin is the all-time Pats guy. So maybe it was he doesn't know McDaniels as well as he thinks he does.
By the way, the Patriots schedule. Oh, dear God.
Oh, it's so easy.
It's so easy. They host the Browns. They got the Jets, the Giants, the Bengals. I mean, it is. Drake May you said last week that Drake May was getting some MVP buzz. I don't know if he's going to deserve it, but he's going to get it because this is going to be a lot of wins in New England.
Why couldn't the Giants get that type of schedule? They were one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Cyclical.
You had an easy schedule, and you made the playoffs that year, and you won a playoff game in Minnesota, and then after that, everything fell apart.
Well, I want off the ride.
Well, you can control that.
No, I will not. No, I'm not getting off.
Making 4 straight wins for the Bears, beat the Saints 26-14. They were led by who, Terry Bradshaw?
DeAndre Smith. Swift.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I know. Swift. Straight up the middle, 11-yard touchdown.
Yeah, that's the courtesy of Fox. Swift 124 on the ground. And the
Mika Egbegbo.
Giants defense pitched a shutout for 3 quarters yesterday, but then, of course, came the fourth quarter.
Knicks on a design quarterback run. Bo inside the 10. Bo inside the 5. Touchdown, Denver! Holy mackerel!
Yeah,
okay, we're going to be asking this question till the end of time. Is Bo Nix good?
Yeah.
I can't do this.
Get ready. EJ, we're going to put up that poll question no fewer than 100 times.
Sean Gilgeous-Alexander.
Can you take the 5th on a sports question? I refuse to answer this because on grounds I might incriminate myself.
What, of being a Bo Nix fan?
Or of Bo Nix doing something completely different next week. I have no idea from drive to drive what quarterback you're going to see.
No clue.
That was the call on the Broncos radio network. Denver 33 fourth quarter points beat the Giants 33-32.
Shane Bowen still have a job?
He, as of 8:38, he still does. As for Mike McDaniel,
I have to coach a lot better as well. So we're going to find out who and what we're made of.
Yeah. Tonight, Bucks, Lions, Texans, Seahawks. And as if that was not enough, we got a Game 7 tonight.
Barger lifts the ball, right center. Canzone looking up at the fence. Out of here!
Yeah, I get the feeling Mike McDaniel is also going to be out of here pretty soon. That was the call on the Blue Jays radio network. Toronto takes Game 6, 6-2. Game 7 tonight. George Kirby, Shane Bieber on the mound.
I got an idea, actually, for the Giants, and this was slightly inspired by some of the conversations I was having in the press box at that Rutgers-Oregon game.
Go ahead, Max.
So everyone's saying nice things now about Bill Belichick, even though they lost that game to Cal.
Oh, don't do this to me.
You got the double statements that came out. Hey, we support Belichick at UNC. Belichick's like, I'm fully committed to North Carolina. You need a new defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I heard this little not rumor, but thought in the morning show on the local side.
Oh, I didn't know they did it too. But can I tell you, someone who I was talking with who talks to a lot of people around the league thought that the only way that Belichick gets back into the NFL is with the Giants next year. The Giants love him.
As
and
if
Daboll got fired.
DC.
Or head.
Well, why not keep Daboll to work with Jackson Dart and have Bill Belichick run the defense as an option?
Well, that's kind of the more like the halfway measure. But the idea that the Giants are still the one team that has this undying forever love of Belichick, even more than the Patriots, ironically.
I actually think it'd be a cool story if he went full circle and was defensive coordinator of the Giants
and
again.
won 2 Super Bowls with Lawrence Taylor.
Well, just to go back to where you started from, and he does have Brian Burns and maybe Thibodeau. I don't know if he's going to be there.
Abdul Carter.
Yeah, Abdul Carter. Right, like he could turn this into a great Giants defense.
Would be nice, but we don't have any secondary right now because we have Deonte Banks running out there as a backup, and he can't catch a cold.
I was going to say, I don't know what Thibodeau's contract status, but that guy was about 7 yards offsides on a key play one time.
Also, I think Abdul Carter shattered his wrist at one point, and nobody even mentioned anything about it. But anywho, that's a little of some of the rumors that were going around.
I got to be honest, had no idea that Cal and North Carolina played.
No, that one did
Nobody was like, was anybody talking about that one?
It was on after Louisville, Miami, I think.
I went over. I was so sad that Matt Rule laid such an egg after I said so many nice things about his chances to turn Nebraska into a powerhouse.
I don't know why you guys keep jumping in that Matt Rule Nebraska thing. You guys knew it was going to happen. The same thing happened last year.
Wait, Patrick Mahomes didn't win a game for him?
Wait, no. I don't think that. I didn't think it would happen versus Minnesota.
They were 10-point favorites. They were 10-point favorites, EJ.
I watched them play last year. They started 5-1. People just assumed, this 5-1 is going to be different. I'm like, why would I assume that? That was not surprising on Friday. I'm sorry.
I was also thinking, Rule is trying to toe the line here of talking about his alma mater, Penn State, in a big way, while also saying, Nebraska, and I love it here. We're building something here, and the whole deal. And I just wonder if, there are real life consequences of that. People start thinking about my job and am I going to hit the portal and what's going to happen to me? And I wonder if they were distracted.
No. He said all the right things. He said, I'm staying. I'm building something. He basically said, good luck to your next hire. AndyStaples was on the show earlier from On3. He said, nobody's going from Nebraska where you have all the leeway to win or lose to Penn State where if you don't get 11 wins, you're out. Matt Rule might not even want Penn State.
888-710-4ISN. Shohei Ohtani's performance on Friday. 6 shutout innings, 10 strikeouts, 3 home runs. Is it the greatest postseason performance we've ever seen? It's the Maggie Perloff Show.
You're in a 5-minute break. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Crazy weekend that we're reacting to. Welcome to the show. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Where does Shohei Ohtani's
Game 4 performance rank in terms of all-time postseason performances. So this one goes back to Friday, but it's worth it. 6 shutout innings, 10 Ks, 3 home runs to add on top of that. Pearl, is it the greatest we've ever seen in the playoffs?
No.
Individual performances.
No. Because of the stakes and what was going on. I mean, if this was Game 6 of the World Series, then yes. But I'd still put it behind Don Larson's perfect game, Reggie Jackson's 3 home run game. There's just a little more lore to those two jump to mind. And Bob Gibson, although in 1967, there's a couple games, but Game 7, I still think because it was 3-0, and the Dodgers clearly had the Brewers' number. The Brewers' bats were very slow in this series. I just put it just a scunch behind.
I mean, does it have to be a World Series game in order for it to be the greatest of all time? Because, there's a Roy Halladay no-hitter.
Yep.
That was not in the World Series.
Yeah, but that's, I guess, my point about stakes. I think you raise the stakes. Obviously, you got, even though they didn't, you have to win because Carlton Fisk's home run jumps out to me. It's certainly, the stat line is the best stat line we've ever seen. There's no doubt about that. But where do you put it, Meg?
I mean, I want to say that it's 1 because of what the person did. If you want to tell me that David Freese, has bigger moments, right, to tie it and then win against the Rangers. If you want to tell me, that Reggie did it in the postseason. If you want to tell me Madison Bumgarner did it in the World Series. Yeah, I can do that. But none of these guys were pitching and hitting. That has to elevate this, I think, to a world all of its own. When John Smoltz and Jack Morris were going back and forth in 1991, that was unbelievable. But this is both, to do both. Mm-hmm. He's pitching and he's hitting, so I think it has to belong in a world unto its own. I think that means it's 1.
Although Gibson did hit a home run in Game 7 of the 1967 World Series, which I read a couple people. That is, but totally random. He wasn't. No, of course. I mean, no one's going to throw 10 strikeouts and hit 3 home runs ever again, except for maybe Shohei again. But
here's the other thing, though, about that Game 7 win that Bob Gibson, weren't they ahead by a lot? That was like a tack on. That was one of your, I'm not trying to disrespect the legend of Bob Gibson.
Probably.
Believe me.
You said Bob Gibson is a stat hatter?
I'm not saying that. I feel like Bob Gibson would come from the grave and just throw a fastball at my head. No. I'm not disrespecting Bob Gibson. What I'm saying is I think that it was already, the game was out of reach. That's what I'm understanding.
Actually, I didn't even know that. To me,
Gibson won Game 1, 4, and 7 in that series because he's amazing.
Yeah, there's something about the Reggie Jackson 3 home run game that you grow up with that game. There's lore around that game. That was the Yankees and the Dodgers. There's been movies that have featured that game. It just feels, and there's certain moments, the shot heard around the world, the Bill Mazeroski home run, Reggie Jackson's game, that was Game 6. I'm not sure Shohei, because they were up 3-0, necessarily gets into that. It probably will, but it's not like everyone was gathered around the radio and heard the Giants win the pennant. It just doesn't feel as historically significant.
Well, in 1977, they weren't. I mean, please be gathered around the radio. We're on radio.
Well, in 1977, though, there were 3 channels, and baseball was the most popular sport on TV. There were probably millions and millions of people watching that. It just felt, unfortunately, it was Friday night, not the number 1 sports night. It wasn't a standalone game. Yeah, I don't know. I understand what you're saying. Yes, statistically, it's the greatest game of all time, playoffs or non-playoffs.
I just think it's funny. It's not a lot of people watch Shohei Ohtani because they were watching Carson Beck throw 4 picks against Louisville.
Well, it's maybe, before he threw between 2 and 3 before they tuned out. But Friday night is famously the death knell for sports. It's the least watched sports night.
Well, the World Series is going to start on a Friday. No matter what happens tonight, you got a Game 7 between the Mariners and the Toronto Blue Jays in Toronto tonight, and then whatever happens, and we get the World Series starting on Friday.
I mean, now the ratings are going to soar for this because everyone's going to want to watch Shohei. I will give you that. This is as must-watch a player as you get. Maybe Barry Bonds, when the Giants played the Angels, it's similar to that. But what if he gets cold again? I asked you this, Maggie. It was up 3-0. What if Shohei gets cold at the plate again and does not perform well in the World Series? Will that affect how you think about this?
I don't think so, because if we're just talking about individual, all-time performances, and if the Dodgers win, I don't think it's going to be remembered as, wow, remember how Shohei was super, unimpressive in that postseason. He's going to give you this all-time moment. If they lose and he doesn't play well, All right. Well, then he's going to get the treatment that every star player would get if he keeps failing in that spot.
Yeah, I mean, that's why this is going to be incredibly dramatic. And we get a slump buster.
Maybe.
Hallelujah.
Our question for you at Maggie and Pearl, because I've declared 2025 the year of the drought buster, which turned into the slump buster.
Oh, my God. I'm sorry. I meant drought buster.
Yeah, sure you did. Are you rooting for the Dodgers?
Yeah.
88% of you say no.
Why?
Because they're the evil empire now, man.
Wow, that was not close. 88%.
You can still go vote at Maggie and Pearl. We're also asking you, what was the game of the weekend? Because you got a couple really big options here. Whether it was yesterday's Denver Broncos, New York Giants fourth quarter calamity, whether you've got maybe like a little Alabama, Tennessee, maybe more Diego Pavia, Vanderbilt beating LSU is more your cup of tea. By the way, are we going to start hearing a little Brian Kelly hot seat? Billy Napier was fired. James Franklin has been fired. A lot of guys have been fired so far. This is going to be tough here for LSU.
I heard multiple takes that we should have known culturally this was the worst combination of coach and program possible. How many times have we played that video on social media, or is it getting played where Brian Kelly is on a pedestal and he's turning with that quarterback recruit? I can't even remember who that was now.
Well, when he faked the accent.
Yeah, but there's this hype video where he's doing a little dance that is getting played. It's just not working.
A little try too hard, bro? Trying a little too hard, bro?
I mean, okay, Nick Saban is now Mr. LSU, Alabama, all that. He was from West Virginia and coached at Michigan State.
Yeah, fair.
If you win, you're good.
Urban Meyer is from, obviously, Ohio, I think, and he fit in pretty well in Gainesville. That's a good point.
Yeah, I think some of that stuff is a bit overrated. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Shohei Ohtani is at the greatest postseason performance of all time, and who had the best game of the weekend? It's the Maggie and Perloff Show. Come on in.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
That sleazeball Anthony Gallo.
Manny and Bogusch are Giants fans.
4 minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
In case you missed it last night, San Francisco adds another win to their record. They're 5-2. They beat the Falcons 20-10, Pearl, but I don't actually believe that the San Francisco team is capable of doing a lot of damage. They're way too injury prone, and they are just way too reliant on offense for Christian McCaffrey. Yeah. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Yeah, I mean, they kept going to Fred Warner up in the booth, who we've interviewed, and he's just awesome. I understand why everybody adores him, but you can't have Fred Warner and Nick Bosa injured and expect to go as far as you did preseason. Although I got to tell you, 5-2 is no joke. I mean, they're looking like a playoff team because their schedule is so easy. Mac Jones, I got to tell you, there's a legit argument he is better for the team than Brock Purdy right now.
I think they're about the same.
Okay.
So this is why I think Brock Purdy is going to get his job back, but I bet that Mac Jones does the same thing that we've seen some other backup quarterbacks in San Francisco do, which is go to another team. It's like we're in the era of the third chance. It's not even second chances anymore. Yeah. Third chances, fourth chances. You know, Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones. I mean, how many reclamation projects have we had now in the NFL? And I think Mac Jones becomes the next in the long line of that. He goes somewhere else after the season, and he makes a name for himself. I don't know where that's going to be. Maybe it's, this quarterback class in college is not really making anyone's head spin. So maybe Mac Jones has a pretty big market this offseason.
Yeah, it's maybe a bridge guy, but it's funny. He really does fit with Kyle Shanahan. So I almost wish the two of them could be together. But Brock Purdy's contract is something the Niners have to deal with. $50 million plus, he will be the starter.
Okay, let's get to the NFL in 60. Every single game from Sunday in 60 seconds or less.
Maggie and Perloff take you around the league, recapping this weekend's football action. Time for NFL in 60.
All right, EJ, who's the first up?
All right, let's head to London, where the hometown Jacksonville Jaguars lost a big one to the Rams, 35-7. You did get 100 yards from Travis Hunter, though, receiving. What was that?
Yeah, that's the bright spot, I guess, for the Jags. Only 12 snaps on defense, though. So what's the plan here with Travis Hunter? Anyway, I think the real headline, Pearl, is no Puka Nacua, no problem for the Rams.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams and Terrence Ferguson, the tight end, also coming through with a big touchdown. Stafford had 5 on the day.
Yeah, Devontae Adams in particular filled right in, helped out my fantasy team, I might add. I was very disappointed in the Jags. It made me think, because I've been squinting and seeing this as a potential playoff team. Sure didn't look like it because they're supposed to play well in London. We know that storyline. I did not see a total failure coming.
How about this? We were just talking about the 49ers for real. So technically San Francisco is first place in the NFC West and the Rams are in second place. The Rams have a plus 58 point differential and the San Francisco 49ers have plus 7.
Ooh.
A little different. What's next, EJ?
All right, let's head to Chicago where break up the Bears. They've won 4 in a row after beating the Saints 26-14.
Yeah, it was a sloppy game that the Bears were always in control of. I just want to turn to the Saints for a question. What are we doing with Spencer Rattler? Like, when is Tyler Shuck time? I thought during the game, because Spencer Rattler started out particularly struggling, that we were going to see the second-round pick, Tyler Shuck, get in the game. But, I mean, I'm not sure what the Saints are doing here, why they draft him in the second round if they're not going to use him. That would have been a perfect game. It was kind of a garbage, bad weather game. Meanwhile, they're right. The Bears are not pretty, but they finally got the run game back, which struggled early in the season.
No doubt. I mean, that's the key to winning games in Chicago. You got a good defense, had 4 takeaways, and you have a run game with DeAndre Swift and Kyle Minogue.
Kylie Minogue?
Sure. Kyle
Rutgers.
Minogue. Yeah, I know. He actually was at the game, Rutgers, Oregon, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Jumbotron, here's Kyle Minogue with a pre-taped video for the Rutgers faithful. I think the score at that point was 100-3.
The Bears are who we thought they were.
Let's head to Cleveland where the Browns beat the Dolphins 31-6. 3 more picks for Tua Tagovailoa.
Oh, this was so bad for Miami. If you keep Mike McDaniel after this, like, what's the message sent? Actually, Bill Cowher, came out on television. Bill Cowher, right, who I don't think he would criticize another coach if his life depended on it, said the team quit on Mike McDaniel. They also had a ton of penalties. They couldn't stop Quinshon Judkins if they tried. The defense, the offense, it's all bad. Tua got benched for Quinn Ewers.
Remember that night we hung out with Bill Cowher at a movie premiere? What a nice man.
I do remember that.
Okay. There was some criticism online of Dylan Gabriel, 13 for 18, 116 yards, terrible. As our buddy quarterback trainer Quincy Avery said, they were up by 3 touchdowns on a terrible windy day. What did you expect from them? That was an NA if you want to grade Dylan Gabriel. We did not really get to see what he was because it was so easy to win that game without any passing.
As long as he didn't lose the game.
Win the Super Bowl if they were only team in the NFL.
As long as he didn't lose the game, he gets an A for me. All right, let's go to Tennessee where the Patriots shook off a slow start to beat the Titans 31-13.
Did anyone notice early in the game, Cam Ward had a long touchdown pass, and there was a narrative on social media, oh, man, they finally got rid of Brian Callahan. Now we're going to see Cam Ward just excel. And he was fine. He was good in the game, but they got just destroyed from that point on.
We're keeping the book right now. We ass.
Yeah. New England looks great. Drake May, 21 for 23, best completion percentage ever for a Patriots quarterback. Wrap your head around that. Ever for a Patriots quarterback. That means better than a certain Matt Castle. No, I mean Tom Brady.
Also added 62 rushing yards on 8 attempts. So that means he's got almost 200 scramble yards on the season. That's 3rd in the NFL. Drake May, man.
Looks good.
This one was over before it began. The Chiefs beat the Raiders 31-0. As you mentioned earlier in the show, Raiders 3 first downs on the day.
Oh my God, 3 touchdowns. They'd throw a parade. 3 first downs. I can't believe it. And then the stat is the last team to have that fewest amount of first downs was actually the Raiders, but back in 2008. It's as bad as it could ever be for the Raiders. Like, we're getting close to rock bottom here because you thought you were at least going to compete, and this looks like a disaster.
What do you guys think on the Kansas City side, forcing the ball to Rashee Rice in the red zone, wanting to get him a touchdown? It's not like he was away from the team for a good reason. He was away from a seriously dangerous driving incident. And it felt like that's been turned into a feel-good narrative in Kansas City. It strikes me as odd. Have you noticed that at all? Like, they were like, we're going to make sure we get Rashee Rice in the end zone. He got 2 touchdowns. They look so dangerous right now as a team, though, because now you got Worthy, Rice, Thornton. Juju is playing very well. It is a great offense.
And running the ball with Pacheco. But remember the T-shirts they were wearing for Rashee Rice a couple of weeks ago? It was like, basically it was like free Rashee. It was like, oh, God.
Not a good look for the Chiefs, but they did look good on Sunday. Okay, let's go to Minnesota, where Perloff's Eagles got their passing attack on track. Hurts with 326 yards and 3 TDs in this one. Eagles beat the Vikings 28-22.
one of those games where like, why don't the Eagles do this every week? I have no idea. Ask Kevin Patullo. But we had a great debate last night on the phone.
Go Birds!
Saquon Barkley, 18 carries for 44 yards, 2.4 per carry.
Ooh, that boy
Very pedestrian. A lot of reasons our offensive line has had injuries, so they're not really creating space for him. But, it's a yin and a yang. Jalen Hurts looks great, but Barkley does not look great for the Eagles.
Yeah, I floated out the theory maybe they're trying to save Saquon because they've only given him 20 carries once this year, 20-plus carries where he had 13 games of that last year or something like that. But then you guys pointed out, no, it's because he's only averaging 2.3 yards a carry. But maybe you feel like if you hold him a little bit, could he start to make a little bit more of a difference when the weather gets bad?
You could absolutely be right. I mean, if I was the Eagles, why would you use Saquon now? You desperately need him come playoff time.
Let's go to MetLife Stadium, where both starting quarterbacks did not finish the game, but for different reasons. Bryce Young left the game with an ankle injury. Justin Fields was benched. Panthers still beat the Jets, who remain winless, 13-6.
I don't know if it's like a running joke around here, but Perloff loves backup quarterbacks and is actually friends with Andy Dalton. So he said there should be an air raid alarm that goes off whenever Andy gets in the game. Because full disclosure, I wasn't totally dialed in on this one. I think the biggest thing here, obviously the Jets are just in complete free fall.
This crap is crap.
Do you even try to keep Fields around for next year? Right? What happens here? You gave him $30 million and you have him for next year too. Is this where Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji, the new GM, and the quarterback, you just are all three out after 1 year, Pearl?
Oh, I mean, listen, you got to go Tyrod Taylor as your starter. He looked way better running the offense, I thought. By the way, Carol, Andy took the hardest sack. I'm like, you're doing that to my buddy here? He's just on the couch. He's like me. He's a dad. You can't attack him like that. But J.C. Horn, by the way, who number 8 overall pick by the Panthers, had one amazing pick. He was the star of the game. Panthers actually 4-3. Maggie, I know we're
I know they got my Bills coming out of the bye. I'm nervous.
They have a winning record.
Nervous.
But they did not look good in this game. They looked very bad, and they came away with the win because the Jets are worse.
All right, let's go to the 4 o'clock. Let's go to the 4 o'clock window where the Broncos scored 33 fourth quarter points to come back and defeat the Giants 33-32.
Maggie, you raised a great point earlier in the show. Who felt like they should have won the game, the Giants or the Broncos? And of course, the Giants were up 19-0, but I don't think they wildly were outplaying the Broncos throughout the game. I feel like the Broncos missed a lot of opportunities. They moved the ball pretty well. They were screwing up in the red zone, went for it on 4th down once. And Jackson Dart throws a lot of very close to interception balls. So I didn't feel like the Giants really blew them off the field, even though they were up 19-0 coming into the fourth quarter.
I want to leave.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, here's my big takeaway on the Broncos is you can't live like this. You can't live like this if you actually are a real playoff contender and you think you're going to win playoff games, because now it's been too many weeks in a row where you've been down significantly, had to come back, or you just won a game you probably didn't deserve to win. And then for the Giants, this is what I'm curious about. Vibes have been high because of Jackson Dart and Cam Scatteraboo and maybe this revamped defense and all of that.
Yep.
This was as brutal of a loss as you can possibly have. How do they regroup from this, I think, tells you a lot about who will be the head coach next year. If they can actually get past this and still play well, maybe Daboll and Shane have a chance to survive. If they crater after this, those two guys are gone.
Yeah, I mean, you could also say, how do they develop Jackson Dart? That's the big storyline. I'm not sure it's about wins and losses. I think there's some excitement, just regardless of the record.
That sleazeball Anthony Gallo.
This game was not as close as the final score appeared, but the Colts dominated the Chargers in L.A. Indy wins 38-24.
I mean, let's look at the weapons on Indy. You got, obviously, Jonathan Taylor. You got Michael Pittman. You got Alec Pierce. You got Tyler Warren. And now you have Daniel Jones. This team, forget it. I'm in now. I'm in. It took me till week 7 in the NFL. This is a good football team. They were pressuring the heck out of Justin Herbert, even though he passed for over 400 yards for the Chargers. I'm in. Are you with me, Maggie?
It's so hard. It's so hard because of what I'm watching. I'm like, this team looks excellent. But then I'm looking at the Chargers, and they lost their 2 tackles. And then I'm thinking, what happened to the Chargers defense, Pearl? This was a good defense. I know that wasn't a dream. It was a good defense. And yesterday, they were getting sliced and diced by the Colts.
Yay or nay?
Where's Jim Harbaugh? Like, let's pick it up, dude.
Yay or nay on the mustard color Chargers uniform?
Oh, at one point, Adam Shine called them the Savannah Bananas. And I thought he was right on about that.
Good line.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Dallas, where Jerry Jones says this might be one of the best Cowboys offenses he's seen in years. Cowboys beat the Commanders 44-22.
Jerry could be right about that, without a doubt. I mean, this is what is it? How many 40-plus points games have the Cowboys had? At least 3, right, so far this season. The offense is phenomenal. CeeDee Lamb being back is as good as you would have thought. He connected with Prescott, a 74-yard touchdown in the first quarter. Just fantastic. But here's the thing about the Commanders. It is just an infirmary. Guys are out of the lineup. Jaden Daniels gets knocked out of the game. It's as bleak as it could be. Now, if these guys end up coming back, the Commanders could save the season. But in a tough NFC, Cowboys looked like a playoff team yesterday. The Commanders did not.
I think the Commanders fans should feel grateful that Jaden Daniels limped off the field, because the way his leg went did not look natural. It looked like maybe something came off the boat. It just looked terrible. So it's not all is done. Terry McLaurin's starting to remind me of Christian McCaffrey last year, where, it's just I feel like we've been lied to about his health. Like, he's not even
that's
close.
What you mean. Okay.
Yeah. Not that Christian McCaffrey was lied to.
Is he in Germany getting his blood spun?
I just think that McCaffrey never really played, and we've been waiting for McLaurin, and it hasn't really been happening.
All right, and finally in the 4 o'clock window, let's go to Arizona, where the Packers got 3 sacks from Micah Parsons. They beat the Cardinals in a really good game here, 27-23.
Okay, Maggie and I disagree on this one. I came away actually impressed by the Packers defense. Obviously, Micah Parsons didn't do much until late in the game. Then he just closed that out. Quay Walker on Green Bay is a star as well. He was dominant early in the game. I think what happened was Jacoby Brissett was quite mobile, would not go down. Like, the pass rush would get to him. He was big bending it and just sloughing them off. So I think Jacoby Brissett actually kept Arizona in that game. There were some lapses by Green Bay, but I came away kind of impressed. You go on the road. I know you're supposed to be a contender, but you get a W in a really tough place to do it.
Yeah, EJ, what was the stat you gave us? The Cardinals have lost 3 straight games after leading by 7 or more points entering the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
was
first
that
time
one
that's
of them?
ever happened in NFL history.
Okay, so maybe the Cardinals are a little bit better than we think they are. They were a 7-win team last year, and with Jacoby Brissett, they definitely look better. I don't know why the Packers defense, though, is not covering Trey McBride with like all your guys. Listen, Parsons was great. The 3 sacks. He also generated 10 pressures, also had 1 like block, like stuff, if you will. My thing is, like, I feel like every time I really want Jordan Love to deliver the nail, right? He ended up doing it with a fine drive yesterday that led to a field goal. But, like, I don't know. I just want a little bit more from the Packers. Yeah. Am I crazy for that?
Well, I mean,
does their offensive line suck, by the way? Why was Jordan Love felt like he was under pressure the whole day?
Yeah, well, one thing, I think they're very conservative, and they don't really let Love cook until the end when they need him. And then often he does. So, yeah, I think it's a game plan thing. I think Matt LaFleur just wants to slow the game down. I don't know why, but that's the way they've been playing.
Okay, if they did not have Tucker Kraft, their tight end, where would this Green Bay offense be? That dude bails them out on so many occasions. He's amazing.
Well, they'd have, what's the character Rick Moranis plays in Spaceballs?
Lord Helmet?
They have Lord Helmet. Romeo Dobbs.
Oh, come on, bro. You had a concussion.
I mean, there too. I mean, but his is more than a normal, just enhanced helmet. It's like twice the size of his entire body.
It does look particularly large.
It's because he's kind of skinny.
That's probably why.
And also there's another guy on the team. Is it Wicks, who wears a very big concussion? I'm very glad he's wearing it. It's great. I would 100%. If I was a receiver going over the middle, I would 100% wear it. But it is noticeable. Sometimes I wonder how he stands up.
Like his head would be wobbly?
Is a concussion expert Chris Nowinski going to call and complain about this?
Oh boy. Yeah, you're gonna get a bad text from Chris. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. All right, there you go. That was every game from Sunday in 60 seconds or less. Of course, we've got a doubleheader tonight, and it's one of those straight doubleheaders, if you will. Pearl,
7 and 10.
You've got the Buccaneers on the road to face the Lions, and then the Texans out west to face Seattle. So you got the Mariners in a Game 7, and you've got the Seahawks on a Monday night game.
Hold on to your pants, Pacific Northwest.
I know.
I think the Kraken also play a game today.
Stakes a little bit lower for the Seahawks, but...
And for the Kraken.
But still.
Exciting
big
day. Big day
still
for Seattle.
An exciting day. You got a Game 7. Wow. 888-710.
Game 7,
ISN.
pants optional. There's a
Best
backstory
words
on
open
that.
bar. Yeah, 2 best words in sports and then 4 best words, period. Game 7, pants optional.
Yeah, exactly. Game 7, pants optional.
All right, we've got a lot more to do, including, what a story this is. Every Monday, we bring you the BMOC, the big man on campus, the big moment on campus.
Yeah.
Oh, love this one. We'll do that next, M&P.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. 45 seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
It was a big weekend in the world of college football. Here's Maggie and Perloff's big moment on campus.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. So every week we do big moment on campus. So we're going to flash back to last week. Crazy college football season. We're just going to do this week.
Yeah, EJ, remind us, who was last week's B-Mock?
I'm trying to remember that. I'm not sure, to be honest.
All right, this week's big moment on campus goes to Alex Mortensen. Now, why is that last name familiar? You may know him as the son of the late ESPN NFL insider Chris Mortensen, who was in our lives. I mean, Chris Mortensen basically was the entire Brett Favre, will he not go back to Green Bay story all those years ago. Did a lot of great work and unfortunately passed away. So his son is a coach, took over at UAB for Trent Dilfer, who was fired on Sunday. They've got a big game against Memphis that happened over the weekend where Memphis was ranked and undefeated. And how about this? They take out Memphis 31-24 on Saturday. So UAB is under fire from all different angles, basically almost lost their program a decade ago, and the community rallied to bring them back. Now, Alex Mortensen is the hero. We get another coach's son, Pearl, making their name. Well, Jerry Newhouse was a coach's son. Alex Mortensen is a NFL insider's son.
Yeah.
And all having big seasons this year.
Chris was an incredibly nice man. And to Alex's credit, after the game, he immediately credited Trent Dilfer. He's like, Trent Dilfer built this thing and these players. He's a big part of this win. I was like, oh, my God, you're just like your dad. Because his dad always found a way to go positive. You know, his dad discovered Daniel Jeremiah, who's the new Chris Moore. It's like just the most positive person. And I got that vibe from Alex. So I'm excited to see where this goes. It could be, I'm assuming he's a front runner to win this job.
So here is Alex Mortensen, the new interim coach of UAB, says he knows his late dad, Chris, would be sensitive to coaching firing, but also proud of him.
You know, I think he would obviously be excited for our team and our program. And, you know, at the same time, he covered football for a long time, too. So, you know, I think, you know, he's always sensitive to coaches losing their jobs and all that. And, you know, so I know that he would he would understand how hard it was for what we went through this week. But I know he'd be very proud.
All right, so that was Alex Mortensen. I know chills because his father, Chris, who we watched on our TV sets for decades and decades as an NFL insider, his son now coaching and winning his first game, and took down Memphis, who was undefeated at the time. Because we are just a well-oiled machine around here, we forgot who last week's big man on campus was. It was actually, how could we ever forget this story? Lance Leipold, the head coach at Kansas, getting into it with was it Texas Tech? Yeah, getting into it about the tortillas that were being thrown onto the field.
I don't know how I feel about that.
And then, remember, Lance Leipold also said that there was a switchblade.
Yeah.
A pocket knife, pardon me, that also got thrown at one of his assistant coaches, and then it turns out that may have not been true.
That seemed like a stretch at the time. Like, do a lot of people carry a pocket knife these days?
Well, how about carry one? I mean, that's believable. Would you throw it at somebody? That feels like assault.
Then, I mean, this weekend, that's a big loss for Texas Tech, who we just assumed would represent the Big 12 in the college football playoff. Now it's like, oh, well, will they? Because who knows what's happening? That conference is crazy. Remember we were trying to pick it? We just had no idea.
Yeah, how dare you assume anything in the Big 12?
Yeah.
That's your fault. And also, what we haven't gotten to yet is how about the Holy War?
Yeah.
BYU and Utah. So BYU had lost 9 straight to Utah from 2010 to 2019, and now BYU has completely flipped that.
Yep.
The Cougars beat the Utes this weekend, marked their 3rd straight win in the series, their longest streak since the 1989 to 92. So how about that?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like that's another team that, if say they get to the playoff, like how good are they going to be? It's really hard to tell. They sure look tough on Saturday.
Really fun stuff. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. It was just an amazing weekend. And we asked you what was the best game of the weekend. I think Shohei Ohtani's individual performance, I think, still has to take the cake for me, Pearl. How he had 6 shutout innings, 10 strikeouts, and 3 touchdowns, although we're seeing some Tennessee versus Alabama, lighting some cigars for Bama, and then the Broncos coming back on Manny's New York Giants in a way that was unreal. 33 points in the 4th quarter alone, historic. No one had ever done it after being shut out through the first 3 quarters.
I mean, obviously,
tired of doing all of that.
Obviously, the greater performance is Shohei Ohtani, but I mean, the craziest game was Giants-Broncos. I mean, because not only did the Broncos come back from a 19-0 deficit in the 4th quarter, but they got the lead and then blew it again on was probably a questionable pass interference. It was so back and forth and so hard to predict who was going to win that game, missed extra points. The second, by the way, Maggie, the second the Giants kicker missed that last extra point that made it a 2-point lead instead of a 3-point lead.
You
knew.
I mean, that's just the way sports gods work.
Yeah.
Like, you knew. And it's funny because, there's going to be a lot of chatter now, especially if you're in the New York area, about who deserves the blame, for this loss. And I think a lot of people are going to put it on Brian Daboll or Shane Bowen.
That guy should have been fired 3 weeks ago.
Shane Bowen, the defensive coordinator, or a combination of the two. May I just suggest?
Yeah, I want to hear this.
That a general manager who goes into a game in 2025 without an even semi-competent kicking game deserves to be fired immediately. What have we talked about, Pearl? The biggest change to me in my lifetime with watching the NFL is kickers making 55 and 60 yarder, 50 plus, let's say, automatic. It was not that way when we were kids. It was not that way growing up. The kicking game is such a huge weapon now because the new kickoff rules, basically every drive starts at the 40.
Right.
And the fact that the Giants had some dude who couldn't even hold the job at a low-level Power 4 conference is just unforgivable. So to me, I think the GM deserves to be totally raked across the coals.
Well, I mean, I will say one thing, though. It's hard to predict how a kicker is going to do. For example, Jake Moody, who kind of sunk the Niners, is now awesome filling in for the Bears. He's been great. And you never know. Like, remember, the greatest kicker of all time, Justin Tucker, fell apart in front of our eyes. It turns out there was a reason behind the scenes that he was having a lot of personal trouble. But kicking is not that easy to predict. So I'm not going to go all in on the GM. Because you don't know what a kicker's going to do. They're crazy.
Pearl, do you realize Jake Moody is Adam Vinatieri compared to the guy who was out there for Giants yesterday?
Do you know how many people have a problem with Jake Moody, though? Yeah, I know. The Giants kid is no.
He missed 2 PATs.
Oh, I know. And
it's just a sad state of. There's so many kickers out there. Yeah. Like, you can find someone better than this.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Niners found Eddie Pinheiro, and he's really good now.
The Niners found Eddie Pinheiro. The Cowboys were able to find Brandon Aubrey off of a USL roster. I mean, there's kickers everywhere, and the Giants are just unable to find one.
How about the Bills signing Matt Prater?
He's 70 years old.
You can do this, but everyone can except for Joe Shane.
There's kickers available. Rodrigo Blankenship was on College Game Day nailing, field goals for $60,000 for charity. Give him a call. Wow, I should be a general manager.
By the way, Brandon Aubrey, the Cowboys could be at their own 36-yard line. It's like, well, is he warming up right now? Like, that guy, whoa, the Cowboys kicker.
That 61-yarder he hit could have been good from 70.
Exactly. It was a chip. It was like an extra point for him.
It's crazy.
He was on a soccer pitch 2.5 years ago, man. This is ridiculous.
Let's get to Gordon Damer, who's here with us this morning with all the latest and greatest. What's up, Gordon?
We were talking a little bit about it last hour, the robbery at the Louvre. 3 crooks, 10 minutes. They stole the 9 most valuable pieces of jewelry in all of France.
10 minutes is eternity.
Yeah.
They were in there for 10 minutes?
They stole the World Cup trophy from 2018?
No, I'm not sure about that. But they used mini chainsaws. So you were talking about you wanted a really slick kind of way of going in there.
Yeah, you rappel down from the roof.
They did not use slick.
You have to navigate through the lasers. Everyone knows that.
This is great advertising for whatever company makes those mini chainsaws right now. I mean, if you can get into...
This literally sounds like a heist from Grand Theft Auto. You go into a jewelry... No, seriously. There's a mission in GTA 5 where you go into a jewelry store and there's 2 options that you can choose in the story mode. It's either silent and you go in, rappel through the roof, or it's a loud boom where you just, make everything explode and then you steal all the jewelry. What a fun video game.
Wait, and it was during the day, though. Didn't anyone...
In broad daylight. It was 30 minutes after it opened.
Did anyone notice that these guys
they knew it was going on, but I guess they were powerless to stop it? I'm not sure.
You going to stop them?
I don't know. Isn't there somebody in the museum with a gun? The guys are holding chainsaws.
It's France, not Florida.
Truer words never spoken on this show.
If this turns out to be an ad for Grand Theft Auto 6, this is going to be brilliant. The reason I bring this up is because it took them 10 minutes to make that robbery. The Broncos needed a full 15 minutes to steal a win from the Giants yesterday. Broncos rallied from down 19-0, scored 33 fourth-quarter points, beat the Giants 33-32.
Well, I feel bad for the people that left early. A complete team effort in the fourth quarter. It was really bad there for a point. The morale was low on the sideline, but guys never quit. Took a few plays, and then next thing you know, Will Lutz is kicking a game winner, and I can't believe it. I haven't really had one like that.
Yeah, this was GTA. Bo Nix would have had 5 stars because it was going bad. It was nasty out there before he finally turned that around.
Well, there's this expression in sports now when we see something we love, we say hanging in the Louvre. Like if Cal Raleigh hits a long home run, that was so beautiful hanging in the Louvre. Are you saying that the Giants-Broncos game belongs in the French Museum? Because I don't know if that was pretty enough.
It was for all-time losses. Yeah, hanging in the Louvre. I mean, it's going to be a long time before we come up with a loss that's worse than that.
I went to the Louvre last year. I didn't see any Cal Raleigh home runs.
Well, also, I'm not familiar with mini chainsaws, but
right.
I guess I know that now.
We got to learn. There's a lot of stuff we got to study up on in 2025.
If I plan to steal the crown jewels from the Queen of England or whatever, I'll know to bring my mini chainsaw.
Bo Nix, courtesy
Take Jude
of CBS.
McDaniel with you.
Yeah, I will.
NFL teams had been 1,602 straight games when leading. They had won them by 18 or more in the fourth quarter. And Brian Daboll, who you mentioned, now 1-10 in his last 11 one-score games.
Is that bad?
That doesn't seem good. I'm not sure.
Yeah, are they really going to fire these guys?
Well, I think the problem is that Jackson Dart is good, right? We can all kind of agree with that, at least so far.
Yeah,
He's a
they
young
traded up to get him.
Right, and
they stuck
he's
their
going to be
necks out.
good enough. You know the Giants don't want to fire anybody. That's
true.
the only reason why they're still there now.
I got to be honest. I'm stuck on the idea that was floated of bringing Bill Belichick in as a defensive coordinator and pairing him with Daboll.
And I don't think before this latest UNC, embarrassment, if you could have gotten that from Belichick, but now maybe he'd be open to that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we said they're obviously connect. I know Daboll was with Saban. Is Daboll a Belichick guy? Yeah, was he there?
Yeah, Belichick congratulated him, thinking he was talking to Brian Flores, but actually, Brian Daboll was on to Brian Flores.
Oh my gosh,
he both has 2 Brians in his phone.
Isn't that like Brian Flores is like the linchpin of his whole lawsuit?
Yep. Basically, it's Bill Belichick text being like, "Congrats on the Giants job." He's like, "What? I didn't interview yet." He's like,
"I'm going to read the MRI."
That's when we should have known Bill Belichick was cooked. Like the video came out with him and Jordan talking about the NFL Films crew. Like we should have known that was not a buttoned up operation when he was texting Brian Flores thinking it was Brian Daboll.
The wrong Brian.
Come on, man, that was crazy.
That just happened to me, by the way.
Oh God, who'd you text?
No. Perloff just got a text from
I got
somebody.
a podcast invite, and it said,
"Oh no,
embarrassed. I think I saved the wrong contacts when Michael Samter connected us. Michael Samter was a producer on the Zach Delb Show.
Big Mike, sure.
Is this Christopher Mintz-Plotz or Andrew Perloff?
Oh, wow.
So
that's a big jump.
Somebody had McLovin in their phone for both of us. It's not a big jump at all. We got so Christopher Mintz-Plotz is the actor who plays McLovin in Superbad. I was McLovin on Dan Patrick's show. They They wanted the other one.
Aw. You should do it, though. Say it's mince plots.
Oh,
and then you just show up.
Play it out.
And then smash and dash and steal their jewels.
Just like the French.
Oh, man. Well, I'm a huge Christopher Mintz-Plasse fan, so I could have done that. But it sometimes happens.
Would it be between that or Muhammad?
You know, you get names confused in your phone all the time.
Yeah, McLovin. There's 100 McLovins in my phone.
Apparently there too.
Would it be between that or Muhammad?
What are you, Seal?
What else you got, Gordon?
Meanwhile, CeeDee Lamb back for the Cowboys yesterday.
First down, Prescott back. Look at this protection. Deep ball to the middle to Lamb. 35 broke away. Left side 20. Walk your dog. Right on in. Welcome back, CeeDee Lamb. 74 yards. Touchdown, Cowboys.
All in.
That was the call on the Cowboys radio network. Didn't feel like that took that long for that actually to happen, but the call was exceedingly long there. Fourth straight game for 3 touchdown passes for Dak Prescott. Dallas beats Washington 44-22. And more bad news for Washington. Jaden Daniel going to have an MRI after leaving with that hamstring injury. When Jonathan Taylor scores touchdowns, they come in bunches. Third time this season he has scored 3 in a game. Colts over the Chargers 38-24. Taylor now with 10 touchdowns on the season.
That expression the Cowboys announcer used, walk your dog, when CeeDee, is that meaning he was so
I guess
ahead of everybody else he could just saunter into
Stroll
the
in
end
the
zone?
park.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's a
Hang it in the Louvre.
That's a thing.
Christian McCaffrey, 201 total yards, couple of touchdowns. Niners over the Falcons on Sunday night, 20-10. And as of 9:39, Mike McDaniel is still the Dolphins head coach.
I think he did everything to lose the game.
Yes, he is still the Dolphins head coach despite losing 31-6 to the Browns. That should be an automatic. If you lose 31-6 to the Browns, your job is automatically in jeopardy.
Okay, however, unless now the goal is to lose every game from here on out, because you don't want to mess around. Interim coach comes in, gets the guys all fired up.
Remember, the Dolphins actually were tanking that year with Brian Flores, and then there was all of a sudden a lot of bad press, and then they started winning some games. So they screwed up their own tank. They ended up with 2 as a result instead of Joe Burrow. Sorry if I go off on the tangent.
I just saw a headline, by the way. Mike McDaniel, everything is on the table with the quarterback Tua, meaning he's going to be around to bench Tua this week?
Yeah, well, Ian Rappaport tweeted 2 minutes ago on the Miami Dolphins, no changes are expected at this time, I'm told.
Do they sit Tua? Because that's a big deal. He has a huge contract. For Quinn Ewers to not look like anything, I mean, tough spot.
I had the under in that game, and it was 37.5. And it was sitting at 30.
Oh, my God.
No, I won it.
Yeah,
it was sitting.
Boomer had the over. I'm saying he lost.
Boomer the over. Oh, man. This was one of the only bets that I won over the weekend. What was that all about? My DraftKings account was down to $2.50. It was a really bad weekend for me.
I'm
killing it.
Looking like Manny's bank account right
I
there.
could top that. I had to add funds and find the pin on my machine thing.
But
I had to add funds because I live bet like crazy during all the favorites. I'm like, this favorite's not going to lose this game. Ah, crap.
Yep.
1-800-GAMBLER, guys.
I think that I have bet on LSU more. I just take my money. But anyway, this was that one I actually won by the grace of the football gods. So it's 37.5. It's sitting at 37. There's like 6.5 minutes left to go.
That's not going to hit.
But I'm like, then they put Quinn Ewers in. And I was like, thank you, Lord. I think I've got a chance here. And this total stayed at 37.
Andrew Bogusch is a doppelganger.
Yeah.
To his pick 6 must have hurt when you were watching that game.
Yeah, by the time I was like watching it for the over-under purposes and like really sweating out every down, I was already past that
And
point.
the thrill that you got after that bet won.
Yeah, but like 4 other bets lost at the exact same time. So it was more just like a needle in the haystack kind of thing.
So what'd you end up in with your DraftKings account with, like negative $5?
No, they don't let you do that. It was bad. Like, I can tell you. Hold on. I got to log back in. I lost every bet.
You know what killed me?
Except for that one.
You know which one killed me?
What?
That Notre Dame game. I was so confident Notre Dame was going. You know, I've been kind of poo-pooing USC. 10.5 points, 34-24. I got him at 10.5. I don't know. Was it 9.5 to start? I think I bet in the first quarter. Really, really close.
I had Ole Miss +7. It had been 7.5. They lost by 8.
That was weird.
LSU I lost. The Cowboys I won on yesterday. I forgot that I bet them their money line. And the Vikings, Pearl, I faded your Eagles yesterday, and that was a terrible idea. It's just a little smattering.
That was a funny game. You could have won on that. You didn't.
Thank you.
If you're looking for a reason why the Dodgers will not win the World Series this year, since 1985, 5 times one league championship series was a sweep and the other went 7 games. The team that won the 7-game series has won the World Series every single time. So
what I tell you, Pearl, rust versus rust.
We will decide that tonight, of course, with Game 7 between the Blue Jays and the Mariners. Toronto won last night, 6-2 the final.
Yeah, we had a rest versus rust debate on the phone last night. It was riveting. Our spouses must be like, oh, God.
I literally went to my closet to have that conversation. I'm like, I can't subject my husband to
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Gordon. Great job all morning. We have more for you on tonight's Game 7 in the ALCS and also the doubleheader for Monday Night Football. And we're not done coming clean on all the things we got wrong over the weekend. Maggie Perloff Show.
Flash Gordon.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. 45 seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. 15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Okay, we've been asking you a couple things this weekend that you can still weigh in on. What was the best game of the weekend? Best performance of the weekend, we think, would go to Shohei Ohtani. Who deserved to win the game between the Broncos and the Giants? Broncos, Giants, option C, neither. 33-point comeback by the Broncos, but still. I mean, that was pretty ugly. Oof. Jay is in Dallas, wants to talk about the Dallas Cowboys' big win over the Commanders. What's up, Jay?
Hey, how's it going? I really love y'all's DJ. I love the music that he plays, so shout out to him. But, no, I just want to talk as a Cowboy fan. It's frustrating. After the win, I was listening to our local radio station and just talking about how we need Diggs in the playoffs, whenever we get into the playoffs. And I'm like, man, I just want to trade him. I'm tired of him. Shout out to Bubba Dub, but Trayvon Diggs reached out to Bubba Dub and on social media because he was talking about him. And I'm like, well, you don't have time to be reaching out to social media. You need to be studying the playbook. So
Jay.
It's just frustrating, man, that we're getting content.
Jay, these are modern day athletes, man. They've always got time to write back to people on social media, especially someone like Trayvon Diggs. Now, my question about Diggs, and Jay, thank you for the call and the compliment. What happened? Diggs is in concussion protocol, because of an accident that happened at his home. We still have no more clarity on it.
Yeah, I mean, this is coming off Anthony Richardson's, what do you call those things, the bands?
Exercise band, yeah.
Exercise band that apparently hit something off the wall and almost blinded him. And no joke, had major, major surgery. So maybe it's something accidental like that.
Like I think a home gym situation?
Yeah, well, but your mind goes to, this was negligence at home. But we have no idea. Like when Brian Greasy tripped over his dog and missed the game.
Yeah, and once, we could go through, there's dozens of these.
Yeah,
David Cohn got bit by a dog and had to miss a start.
John Smoltz ironed a shirt while he was wearing it. I don't know if this story is true.
He said that's not true.
Wait, that's not true?
I don't think so. I think he debunked it.
My favorite is Clint Barnes breaking his collarbone, lugging deer meat.
How about Yoenis Cespedes?
Fell in a hole. And turns out he was like hunting hogs, like wild hogs. So you're right. This could have been anything, and it's a concussion. So obviously it's really serious, but your mind does go to the places like, if it was hurt at home, like clearly he was skateboarding or something like that he was not supposed to be doing.
You're right. Darn it. John Smoltz never did iron his shirt.
I know. I'm sorry. Don't let the truth get in the way.
That was one of the great stories of all time.
I mean, it kind of made him look like a dimwit.
It's a baseball. He's a baseball player. He's not supposed to be, some rocket scientist.
Pearl, you had another bad beat from the weekend. Tell us, come clean now.
So
what happened?
I have a problem, and I think I got it from
1-800-GAMBLER.
Why? Okay, Texas Tech looks like they were going to come out on top. And whenever I see like a highly rated team against a lower team, then the odds get high. I got them at plus 390 to come back to win that game against Arizona State. Then Arizona State had a game-winning drive at the end. Same thing happened with me. I bet on your Miami Hurricanes, EJ. I thought, and they looked like they were driving to either tie or win. I can't remember what it was.
They could have tied, but they also could have won the game on the last
drive. It just felt like it's so weird to me in college football right now when teams that we know are good just no-show. The Hurricanes being the number one, it felt like Louisville kept letting them back in the game and they just couldn't take advantage. Do you do that same live betting mistake?
Yeah, and they're all mistakes.
Because
I don't know if
the odds
I
are so
want to live
tempting.
bet this year. I definitely, I know, in fact, that I haven't.
Have you ever live bet when they're negative odds?
No, that's not as fun to me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, maybe it's my strategy then. And yours, too. That was a terrible one. Okay, so a couple things today. Got to be on the lookout for Mike McDaniel. I realized that Ian Rappaport, NFL Insider, has said there's no changes today. But, Manny, can we hear a little from Tua yesterday? Because maybe no changes are coming as far as, like, McDaniel getting fired or something. But everything's got to be on the table here with Tua. I'll hear cut 3, please. Here's Tua in his post-game press conference talking about how he's having trouble balancing a lot as a leader.
Just trying to maneuver everything and trying to build a collection of guys to kind of bring along with me, and I got to be able to multitask if that makes sense. Be able to do that, and while doing that, kind of continue to get the whatever it was last year and the years prior for myself to get going again and get in that flow.
Yeah, I mean, this guy. Now I kind of feel like there's no way out of this that we can see right now. I mean, he looks like he is grasping. I don't even know what he's really talking about there. He's trying to find a coalition of guys to come with him. What is that?
It's called a football team, Maggie.
Come on, guys. Come on, where? Down the toilet? And listen, he gets no help because his head coach has been embattled now for a year.
And really funny, small storyline, right before the game, they announced that Quinn Ewers was the backup, demoting Zach Wilson to inactive, former Jets quarterback. So if they dump Tua, are they going to the rookie or are they going to go to Zach Wilson?
I don't know. And I don't think it's going to matter.
No.
Thank you, E.J. Stewart. Thank you, Manny Rodriguez, Gordon Damer, Andrew Kaplan, the Weedos, the Coffee Drinkers, Andy Staples, who joined us earlier. Check out the Maggie and Perloff podcast wherever you get your pods.